Good evening. Good evening. Good
Yes.
evening. Hello, hello. Tuesday night it is. Welcome to Free Thinkers. I am just going to do a quick introduction, actually, because I don't want to take up a whole heck of a lot of our time. It may be a little bit confusing right now, though, because we are not streaming to the Facebook Freethinkers page, nor is it streaming to my personal page because I am in Facebook jail again.
Really? Is it going to me?
Yeah, say that again.
Is it going to my page?
It is not going to your page because your path wasn't set. So go to YouTube and then take the YouTube video and pop it over to Facebook. So those of you who are watching us, you will have to engage with us live on the YouTube channel tonight. Hopefully I get my 30-day ban reduced to the 6
life together.
Oh my God. And I was so mad about it too. I didn't even really think about what I was saying when I said it. And I didn't think it was that bad, to be completely honest. But Facebook obviously was like, yeah, we see you, bitch. And that was that. So back to jail I go. And
Your
they
lost cause, Nikki. I give up.
I had like 2 months of no infractions. Like I was doing so
2
good.
months. 2 months.
It's
We
good for
tried
me.
an intervention with you last time, and I
Look,
guess
if you see my
didn't
list
work.
of penalties, it's like, dang, they get on you for everything. And I literally didn't even, I've been so good about not saying things and like using numbers where letters would typically be. And I just did not on this freaking response. So they got the first 2 profiles in jail and I was like, ooh, I'll be slick and I'll go tap into Nikita Jones again on the other phone.
Yeah.
I did that for like maybe a half a day. And then last night they were like, we need you to confirm your identity. Your account is blocked until you send us like legal documents proving like who I am. And I was like, I'm not fucking doing that. I was like, I guess I'll be in jail for a while. It was crazy. So yeah, so we're not so the video will eventually be on the Facebook page. It's just going to be a link from our YouTube channel, so you can engage with us live in the comments on the YouTube channel tonight. We should be back in action properly next Tuesday, so apologize for the inconvenience, but we've been telling y'all to join us over on YouTube anyways. So subscribe to the YouTube channel, which is Freethinkers Worldwide. How can I find that? If you look at my Facebook profile picture, it's got the YouTube tag and the Facebook tag obviously on there to be able to find it on that show, or to find it on that site. So and if you do want to get into the conversation tonight, Q did post on the Freethinkers group page the StreamYard link and all that good jazz to be able to be a guest on the panel tonight. So you definitely have plenty of time to go try to figure out where the hell those things are to be able to click on it and join us in the conversation tonight. But we do want you to join us tonight, either in conversation or in the comments. If we, get some good comments going, then we certainly will put them up on the screen. We'll try to engage with people in the comments section as well. Adult conversation, anticipate tonight to be a passionate conversation. Adult language, of course, is used. We'll probably go till 10 o'clock tonight. Share the page, engage with us. My whole point of this was not to drag out more of like the spectacle of what's happening, but for us to actually talk about this. There's so many posts, there's so many comments, there's so many replies, there's so many things being said online in a manner in which you don't really know the tone and inflection and emotion behind what people are saying to even understand sometimes what people's responses are. So I wanted to be able to use our format to, have the open conversations that we do and really discuss a lot of these things. Sherry is actually a stand-up comedian and, was grateful to meet her a couple months ago on another comedy show that I do. So really hoping to have some interesting perspectives to be able to add to this conversation tonight. Tiara, thanks for joining us tonight. I know you're super busy. It's been a minute since you've been here. We missed you.
I know. Missed y'all too.
When you said I'm coming tonight, I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I heard it
don't
before
talk
my
no more.
candles. I heard
Tierra
it
used to talk, but Tierra don't talk no more.
She got $1 million goals. She got vision boards and shit. She's ready.
Yeah. I try to keep it kind of hush these last few weeks, but I thought I would jump on in the conversation here. And I appreciate y'all, doing y'all thing and still continuing on, so I watch you guys and I support y'all all the time.
Thank you. Well, two things I want to present to the table. Q, do you want to say anything before we kind of jump into it?
No.
He's like, no, I'm good. He's like, I really want to have this conversation right now. Talk down. And this is why I've chosen not to talk like the last couple of days, right? So I could just save it for tonight. I guess it was good they put me in jail. I couldn't run my mouth. Two things I want to present to the table is, I certainly am part of the population of people who got emotionally invested in what I saw. I think everybody that saw it probably had some type of emotional response, but I definitely got emotionally invested in the defending your wife aspect. But literally the second thing that came out of my mouth on the rewatch of the video was that real? Like literally, me and my two girls were standing around watching my one girlfriend's phone. We're all out Sunday night. And I saw Koo actually post something on social media about, I wish you would walk up on stage and slap me. And I was like, what the hell is he talking about? So I'm scrolling through my timeline and everybody is now saying something. And I was like, what the hell happened? So she pulls up the video, hits play, and me, Sheree, and Stephanie are watching it. And the first time we watched it, we were like, damn. And then the second time, immediately, I was like, was that real? So I wanted to present, the two possible scenarios, right? Of this was real and what our emotional response to this was and the conversations that, I think are afforded that way. And then the possibility that this was staged. And if it was staged, that opens up a whole different conversation too, because so many of us have been emotionally invested. For it to possibly be staged, my thought, of course, is always what the So, I guess let's get into the emotional aspect to this first. Q, I'm pretty sure I know what you're going to say.
You don't know what I'm going to say.
Was Will right for walking on stage and hitting Chris Rock?
No.
Tiara, was Will right for walking on stage and hitting Chris Rock?
God, because I haven't said anything about this on purpose.
You haven't.
Take your time.
First, I want to the faking if it's real. Well,
we're talking on the real aspect right now. We're going to talk about that it's real.
The real aspect of it. No. Your sane, like common sense brain is saying absolutely not. He's wrong, right? However, I challenge people to look at this differently.
Mm-hmm.
If Chris Rock was talking about that man's daughter that was sick or suffering from some type of autoimmune therapy, would people reaction to him doing that be as severe as what he's getting? Would they have a little bit more compassion for Will if it was someone talking about Willow? Would they have compassion if it didn't have some type of cloud over it because of this entanglement? So I think what a lot of people we're doing with this situation is conflating a lot of issues. We're taking issues about their past relationship and what the dynamics of that, and also what does it mean to be a marriage and defending your marriage. And I think really we can't tell anybody how to feel and how to react, because I feel like there's a lot of men that Chris Rock would have been making light of their child, would have took a more passionate role about defending their child as opposed to Jada. I think they just don't think Jada is worthy of that type of defense. And in a lot of Black women in particular, people view as so strong that they don't need to be defended. And I'm not saying the particular manner was correct. I'm just saying the overall tone I hear as if Jada can defend herself. I heard a lot of that going on. Will, it's like the whipping boy, but Jada had She has strong abilities to speak up for herself. And so I challenge people to remember that Black women are just as delicate and sensitive as any other race, and that also we have to be careful about the information that we teach our children. We literally taught our children that sticks and stones may break our bones, but words will never hurt us. That's not true. That's not true. There's plenty of people that commit suicide that have been bullied and talked about, and their breaking point was taking their own lives as opposed to attacking others. So we need to actually retrain our children to be mindful of the words they say, because they can have a reactive thing happen because of how you say things and what you say. Everybody is not level-headed. We believe that, and we think that that's proper when it's not. People are triggered in many ways. We never know what's going on in someone's life or psyche. So we need to also not only say, keep your hands to yourself, be mindful of your words as well. And that's kind of like some of the things that I say, yeah, sanely, my sane brain would say, Will, out of pocket. However, people have these emotions and bottle up and break. We've seen it too many times. So we have to be mindful of what we're saying to other people as well.
Sherry, you're a comedian. What did Will Smith have the right to walk on stage and hit Chris Rock?
So I think that the data that I've collected and the information given, I think that Will Smith was invited to the Oscars because he was nominated for a very, very important movie that he was in. I can imagine he probably didn't sleep the whole night. Maybe he did or didn't. The emotional, the excitement to go to an award like that. He was invited. He was a guest of honor, so to speak. He was sitting in the front row. He did not think that he was going to a roasting type comedy show. Sometimes you sit in the front row and it's a comedian that roasts. You're going to get it. We've all gotten it. We're going to get it. He was going in with the intention to sit and represent his family and his community. And I think that he was godsmacked with that comment. And I think that I know how I get worked up before a show, right? Like I have to do all my rituals before I go and I perform comedy, right? The day before, the night before. A lot of times I don't sleep that well. And if anything gets in the way, I don't have all my faculties in order in my head. And I might respond in a way that is not appropriate or appropriate. I think that it was a responsibility. My husband disagrees, but I think that it was a responsibility of the Academy to protect Will in that moment. How easy is it to say, because it's stressful getting ready for an award. I've never been, but I could imagine it was really hard. And coming from, who knows if he's filming, and he's like America's sweetheart. Like I love that. I've been watching him since I was a little girl. He was like my password to my computer because he was like one of my favorite actors, right? Like he was the genie to my son. My son doesn't know what's his face as a genie. My son knows Will Smith. And I think that he was presented with an extremely stressful situation. And I think that he had an emotional reaction, which I cannot say I would not, because I've been in rooms with comedians. So full disclosure, I have a disabled son who has cerebral palsy. And I get very triggered when someone makes fun of like disabled people or uses the word retarded. And but I go in defense, like I'm just going to cuss you out. And I usually don't go towards physical. But now, given extreme stress, extreme pressure that Will was put on and not expecting what happened, I don't know. I mean, they say, psychologists say you can. It's like a crime of passion, like that you just black out. I've been in situations where I was so mad at my husband. I blacked out. I woke up and I was like, what did I do? You know, thankfully he's still alive. But, and I'm not saying to anyone to use physical violence towards anyone, but I'm saying that that I myself have even blacked out. And so I don't know if if his defense of his wife, if he was in the normal state of mind, as like a normal day dealing with a comic. And I think that it was a responsibility of the Academy to have represented him better. This was his moment. This was his moment in history. And they took it away by making it funny. And now look at, now the repercussion that he's going to. No, I don't think he should have done that, but I don't think he had his emotions in order at that moment. It's such a pivotal moment. So
I'd like to second that one. I know what it's like to be in, not exactly what it's like to be in her shoes, but when I'm, with my epilepsy, when I was 20, was my first brain surgery. And keep in mind, like, I've almost died from epilepsy 3-4 times. There's even SUDEP, sudden unexplained death in epilepsy, that some people go through. It's nothing to play with.
Right. And
when I was, I had to shave my head for surgery, I'm like in my college town, Carbondale, Illinois, for those who don't know, drinking town, whatever. But it was also like really homophobic. So girl has her head shaved, and I would get harassed so much, and my friends would be there with me, and I would be in tears, and they stood up for me. They would stand up for me. None of us needed to use any physical altercations. That's pretty freaking high school, if you ask me. But I do empathize with you, Sherry, on the aspect of like, sometimes it's just too far. But yeah, there's, after he did the slap, he did fine just staying in his chair and yelling. I'm like, there's plenty of other options too. Like, I probably would have, if I were him, just stayed in my chair or stood up and yelled. There's just different ways that you could, deal with the situation. And
my husband,
I don't know.
Yeah. My husband said what he should have done is just left. And he said, and he would have made Chris look so bad. And the Academy so bad to not even be there to get your award because you were offended. And I said, but that's you. That's not me. I said, that's easier said than done. I said, but I get it. But yeah, I think
that would have been a form of peaceful protest.
True.
Get up and walk out in the middle of it.
True.
That was the first thing I thought of too. Yeah.
And we all handle things differently, right? Like, and how many times do we try to say, well, this is what I would have done, but we really don't know because we weren't in a situation. Stokely, did Will Smith have the right to walk on stage and hit Chris Rock? Assuming that this was not a staged event, did he have the right to do that?
Oh, let me start by saying this. Knowing that she has her condition, some said that he knew, some said that he didn't. Defending his wife, I feel like yes. And I would have, let me think about this real quick. I would have probably slapped shit out of him too. And I say that because he didn't know. He acted as if he didn't know what her condition was. She could have had cancer. Had she had cancer and not the world didn't know yet, and he says that type of stuff, then yes, slap the life out his ass. That's just me. But now the flip side to that is it made people take a side. It made people look at Will as, oh, Will's been this good guy all these years, and now all of a sudden, people get pushed to a point. Now, I'm like Sherry, we try not to offend, but yet we try to offend. In comedy, comedy is what it is. Comics are brought to certain situations to do comedy, not at the expense of everybody, but this wasn't a Jada Pinkett Smith roast either.
Right.
So for him to target her, not knowing what the situation was, I would have probably slapped the shit out of him too.
Why did he target her? Was it because they were in the front row or what? Like that's the part that I'm missing here.
I don't know, but
can I just interject there with a couple of things I was thinking of. One, they said the writers of the Academy wrote his comedy. I find that hard to believe because Chris is pretty witty with his own comedy jokes, and also want to note that Will did come to Chris before and say, "Hey, lay off my wife." When Jada spoke up for Will. When he didn't get the Ollie nomination, Jada started that boycott.
Yeah.
Where then Chris made fun of Jada doing that, saying she wasn't even invited in the first place, so why she has even a voice. And so I guess Will had spoke to Chris about kind of laying off his wife. My other thing I would say is we got to remember Chadwick Boseman. People ridiculed that man. And I can just, I feel like I feel awful for the people that did, because that man had cancer, and we had no idea, and people were literally laying in on his ass, talking about the way he looked, and that man was fighting for his fucking life. So, again, be mindful with your words. You don't know what's going on with people. The last thing I was just going to say is, Jada's beautiful. Jada has cut her hair off before, so. We don't know if it's an acting job she's doing that for, or, she just want to cut her hair. A lot of people may not know. So I want to give people some grace, because everybody don't know what's going on in someone's life. But I think that's why we have to be careful on what we say and when we say it, and do our research so we know better.
Well, it's interesting to compare it too. If you compare it to other acts up there, and I'm just so blanking on her name. Blonde comedian,
Amy Schumer.
Yeah, she was pretty harsh, but it's just ha 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 ha. Right. And then Chris Rock, it's not okay. It's like, where's the line drawn, really? But I agree. I don't. Sometimes, I guess my point is sometimes any comedian that gets up there and starts like you guys said, roasting at an award show, I didn't like her either. I don't know. I just didn't. I wasn't.
Well, people need to be.
So let me ask y'all. Well, and then Jared, jump in as soon as that, because I think we need to get to you. Do y'all felt like that was a roast?
Not even close.
No.
It wasn't a roast.
Okay, hold on, Edward. I'm gonna get right back to you
because that's mentioned a lot.
But let me get everybody in. Stokely, finish what you was gonna say, and then Jared, let me jump.
I was gonna say, just like Tara said. I mean, people need to be mindful. Words have weight. Words have weight, and whether or not you're going to, it was not a roast. And Edward said, not even close. I know what a roast is, but when you target somebody, and they've had their issues before. You don't go up to a motherfucker and, excuse my French by the way, but you don't go up to a motherfucker and fuck with him again. Will let you make it the last time, and Will didn't even slap him that hard because Chris ain't a big dude. So
that's pretty hard slap to me.
He went.
He
followed through on that. He followed through.
Because
he rotated the shoulder from back to
he didn't come all the way across, man.
He rotated. Rotation is where the power.
I'm thinking
he followed through too. So
I'm thinking that Chris would have fell off the stage if he really got slapped.
Right.
I mean, that's just me.
Action. Nobody planted his feet. He planted his feet, Stokely. He planted his feet. He was ready for it.
He called Will Smith rich. He didn't even get Richard all the way out. You come rich. And so, like I said, if I would have slapped Chris Rock, and I'm, his feet are gonna move at least. So he didn't really he got hit, but it wasn't a slap that I'm thinking of. And call me violent, but
what type of slap do you? We'll get back to that in a second.
To me,
hold on. We got to move around real quick because some people ain't said anything yet. Let me get everybody in, and then we can kind of have
Write your thoughts down because I know I'll be forgetting mine.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And once everybody get their initial thought, then we can kind of have more of just the conversation. Jared, what do you think, sir?
What's going on, everybody? Sorry for not being prompt.
Hey.
Thank you for joining the show.
Nice
yeah,
hat.
I'm saying, thank you, St. Louis all day. So, I mean, okay. So the question was he wrong, right?
Yes.
Did he have the right to walk up stage and punch him?
Yeah, he was wrong, man. I mean, I understand the build up behind it. I didn't know that they had said something to him before, or if they did or not. But slapping another grown man, I don't care about it being at the Oscars. First off, I'm from St. Louis, and as a black person, a person of color, there's two things you don't do. You don't spit on me, and you don't slap me. That's like the ultimate disrespect, and that's probably for everybody. You know what I'm saying? But like but Will caught him with them tips of them fingers. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't no open hand pimp slap. Like, you know what I'm saying? He caught him with the end of the fingers, but he wasn't right for doing it there because he could have easily just like heckled him from the crowd, or be a man, like walk up on him, and everybody would have heard the audio over there, and it'd have been like, hey man, don't say nothing else about my wife, or it's gonna be a problem, and then go back to your seat. But you slap another grown man who has daughters, you know what I'm saying, on television, like, what if Chris, go home and, did something horrible, you know what I'm saying, behind that? Because that's embarrassing. I don't care how big or how rich you are. You slap another grown man in the face on national television, and then a black man smack another black man. I'm all for supporting your wife or your girl or whatever, because I've been in both situations where I had to leap up and, and didn't think about it. I don't like that he kind of had to look at her and then make that move, because like, it was more like, like it was funny, but then they pan back to Chris, and then all of a sudden he walking up, because I'm sure like everybody saw her rolling her eyes, but like, if I know how sensitive with my wife and her having alopecia, when the joke come out, they talk about the Hollywood laugh. When the minute that joke come out, my face would have been stoned and it would have been on. That's it. Like I don't have to look at her and get approval. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Jared, let me say this. My argument with that is the joke wasn't as offensive as they tried to say, because you wouldn't even, like you said, you wouldn't even have the little fake Hollywood laugh. Say in his joke he called her the B word or something like that. You think he still would have had the fake Hollywood laugh?
Hell
he
no.
would have went to real protection mode up front.
Yeah,
instead of
exactly.
The last we saw of him was him laughing, and the next thing you know, he walking up on stage.
Yeah, and you know what? You're right. And see, that's the difference. Like, he didn't call her out of her name, and the joke wasn't that serious. The G.I. Jane, it wasn't that it wasn't even that. He ain't like, you bald head hoe. You know what I'm saying? He didn't say nothing like.
But he didn't have to, because he said what he said. He didn't have to.
We'll get to that in a second, Nikki. Hold
on
a second. Jared, finish your thought, and then let me get to Kevin.
So in closing, and Jared's final thoughts. He's dead. I'm sorry, man. Like I said, I'm all about protecting a woman or your woman, but I think it's a place and a time for everything, and I think more than anything, protecting your woman. And now I think about just being a father and having a grown man slap me somewhere, and my daughters see that, and my sons see that, and I'm just like, that ain't really cool, because you don't know. Even though he's probably going through something, but now, now everything is cause and effect, and you know what I'm saying? But you got to think about, that just wasn't the time, because you could have caught him plenty of times, or he could have waited, or like I said, to end it, he could have walked up to him and said something. Everybody would have got the audio, and, and then could have said, hey, I'm serious. You're supposed to be friends, and y'all friends, but you don't know she got alopecia. Like, I don't even watch her, and she was, I remember her Red Table and all that, and I just find it, or maybe they not as close as we think they are, but like even he said, man, it was just a joke, like about the movie. I think that was too much. Personally, in that setting, in that event, I'll get down for mine wherever too. But was that the time? You know what I'm saying? To me, no.
Edward, what you think, sir?
I think, to be completely honest, I think the joke was an excuse for Will Smith to be able to defend his manhood, not his wife. Because let's be honest, if you look at everything that he's been through recently with her everyone was making fun of him, not making fun of her. They were making fun of her, but he was the one really taking the brunt of it. And when he went back to her, he got even more. You can't say that she took the joke super personally, because she's been out on YouTube and all these things talking about the condition herself. So obviously she's not overly sensitive about it.
True.
Chris Rock is a friend of his. He knew this was an opportunity to stand up, show that he's a man, do something that he knew he could get away with and look tough at the same time, and tell people, don't fuck with me. I don't think it had anything to do with his wife. I think it was purely an excuse for him to defend his manhood and stand up and look tough to someone who he knew. Chris Rock's not going to fight back. He's in a situation where it's not going to turn into a real fight, right? It's not going to escalate. So he got the opportunity to stand up and go do something to remind everyone, understand, after however long he's been going through being treated like he's less than something.
And that make him look worse.
It does, but he's somebody who clearly needs therapy anyway. Like, you watch Will Smith shows, he's got a lot of stuff going on up there, legitimate therapy, and this was the wrong place to do something petty to try and defend his ego, and that's all it was. His wife had nothing to do with it. She was just an excuse.
Man, Edward, I hope this ain't one of these shows where we be agreeing with each other and stuff.
I know it almost happened. Like, I felt like y'all were kindred for a moment.
We got to change it up. Change it up.
What if it was Kanye?
Do what?
What if it was Kanye? What if it was Kanye that did it? Like,
That's
what the
a
reason?
completely
Like,
different person.
Kanye, they were worried
Kanye that
about
did what?
Kanye
The told
having
the joke or
violence
the
in there.
slapping?
The slapping.
The slapping?
You know, they were worried about Kanye being violent, and then this happens, you know?
Yeah,
And I think that's where we conflate the two. We're conflating the wrong thing. So a lot of people conflated that whole thing with, oh, if this was Kanye, he would have did. But Kanye, the people are upset with Kanye and his antics is being that Kim is not welcoming of him and his antics, and she's moved on. So that's a different type of situation, and I don't want to conflate what Will did.
They are not
to what Kanye is doing. Like I said, I still believe Will was wrong, but I don't want to conflate that with what Kanye did.
Well, I think by conflating the two, both Jada and Will said they weren't together when August Alsina was doing his thing, and so I don't know that it was about him protecting his manhood, so to speak. Now he's showing the love and defending his wife is the way that I took it. So, and another thing that, I mean, you don't talk about black women's hair. He did a whole damn movie, and he know. So both of them are wrong to an extent, but I have to side with Will.
I'm gonna get to you real quick, but
I see you over there shaking her head.
I got a question for you, Trish. Was G.I. Jane, was that a demeaning movie or was that an empowering movie? Just a simple question.
Yeah, I have never seen it, and a lot of the Oscar stuff I really don't.
Somebody who's okay.
Because I don't.
It was not a demeaning movie. It was an empowering movie.
It's not a demeaning movie at all.
Okay.
It's all about the strength of a woman. I mean, it's pretty complimentary to compare someone to G.I. Jane in that situation. Yeah, it's a bad haircut, but she's a woman that came in Navy SEAL. So you can't say it's an insult.
Yeah, but y'all know that. Let's be real.
Let's be real.
We stretching this real far. Y'all know that was a dig.
A straight shot. It was
hold on.
A straight shot.
Let me go to the other side of it.
But I'm saying, as a woman, and knowing that she's going through that didn't feel good to her. That didn't feel empowering her.
Right.
Jada's a very empowering type of black woman.
I'm sorry.
So
I didn't know jokes were always supposed to feel good and empowering.
No. It's not. But when you're going through something, mentally, you know, that's triggering. So like you can't tell someone how to feel. We can say the actions that were done were wrong, but we can't tell Jada or anyone how to feel.
So, Tia, I have a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
And I put this post up on my page a little bit earlier. If Demi Moore was the one who was presenting the award, and she said, "Love you, Jada. G.I. Jane 2. Can't wait to see it." Would Will went up and smacked her? Would Jada have rolled her eyes? If did
But that's
Jada
not what
would have rolled her
happened.
eyes.
hold on.
Jada
Let
would
me
have rolled
say
her
this.
eyes.
There are other actors who do present awards for other people, right? Had she went up there, did a little couple things, and said, "Hey, love you, Jada. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it." Would that have been? Would we have seen the same thing that we saw?
Definitely. Will
Okay, hold on.
her,
But let me give you this
Will
statement.
wouldn't have smacked her.
Okay, so hold on. So let me give you this statement then. If he wouldn't have smacked her and she possibly wouldn't have rolled her eyes and been so appalled, then it's not the joke that's offensive. Because if another person can say the exact same words and the same repercussions don't come from it, it's not the joke itself. It's the person
I don't
who
think
said
Jada
the
sent
joke
him up,
that they were upset with.
But you're saying as Jada sent him up there, Jada's response would have still been the same.
You think she would have rolled her eyes and been upset? She wouldn't have did a fake Hollywood laugh?
She did it to Lorene. She did it to Lorene Carr. She's been rolling her eyes ever since they've been talking about that.
Okay, I don't know. I don't know that. But hold on.
Yeah,
hold
I
on.
believe. I think Jada would have definitely.
Let's go back though. If he wouldn't have smacked
there, no.
Okay, so we can't say the joke was that offensive, because if it's so offensive that you deserve to get smacked, then that means anybody deserves to get smacked. And you can't pick and choose who you're gonna smack depending on who.
But it's history. It's also history between Will and Chris Rock.
That's what I'm
Jada
saying.
And Chris Rock.
So what I'm saying is, let's stop blaming it on the joke.
I care less about the joke. I'm saying about the condition and him pushing forward through that, and then being shocked that he got the shit slapped out of him. That's all I'm saying. I mean, and I think I would have responded. I'm saying, me personally, I probably would have responded the same way.
If it was your daughter,
yeah,
ridiculed in front of anybody, would you have acted? Would you react?
If they were ridiculed, no. But can you say this was ridicule? That's the two different things.
Let's not even talk about if it was or it was. Let's say it was.
If my daughter was ridiculed, absolutely.
And your daughter's sitting there.
I would.
And your daughter is sitting there, humiliated.
No, let's tell the truth. Let's tell the truth.
I'm just asking.
I know, and I'm gonna tell the truth. I think, like Jared said.
Really,
I think, like Jared said, I'm not sure that I would walk up on stage during the Oscars and try to slap somebody, even in a situation, because there's been situations where I'd had to handle stuff, but I'd pick and choose. I'll wait till you get off the stage. Okay, now hold on. What was this that you were saying? Now, me getting on the stage live during a million people, I'm not going. That probably wouldn't have been my response. I just say that. Before we keep going, let me stop. Ivory, jump in, and then I'm gonna get to you, Smack. What you think, Ivory?
Let me see. My stuff is sticking and slow. So this was my thing. If there's no threat of physical violence to you, why are we hitting people? I'm confused at any justification of violence when there is.
Oh no.
That's a good thought. Okay, well, she just dropped the mic. She'll pick it back up in a second. Smack. All right, Smack. Let me form this question for you because I was on Black Tea Talk earlier. I kind of know where you stand on it. Let me get your angle this way. Let's assume that it wasn't staged. Assuming that it wasn't staged, was Will Smith right or within his bounds to do what he did?
No, he was totally wrong.
Okay.
Let me ask y'all this. Is it against the law to go just slap somebody?
Yes.
If they press charges.
Is it against the law to shoot somebody?
Yes, it is.
So it's wrong, period. Just because somebody says something you don't like, you can't go slap them. And yes, the comment about the daughters. Yeah, you might feel away, and depending on how close proximity the person's to your daughter or something talking shit, right. Yeah, they might get slapped, but then you're going to teach your daughter or your kids that when they hear something they don't like, they just go slap somebody.
Preach.
You can even walk on national TV. Like, let's keep it real. Most of y'all ain't going to even be at a concert, like, let's say, or a level of the Oscars. And if somebody told you, hey, man, go across that stage over there and grab that mop, you ain't finna do that. You finna walk your ass all the way around the back. Because you're not finna walk across stage.
True that.
You're not even going to have that time. You're going to be like, shit, I don't want to, man, there's millions of people watching. I'm not finna do that. Y'all are talking about a seasoned actor, really a comedian himself.
Mhm.
He wasn't nervous about the Oscars or going to an award show. He wasn't. No, he's there. You're a part of the Oscar fraternity. You were about to get inducted. You're about to get a roast, and that shit wasn't on the level of the Amy Schumer girl. She went in on people. The other white dude that did it before that, they went in. I'm talking, you would be like, damn. But these actors that are joining these fraternities in Hollywood, that's a small part of the ritual. You remember they put Chris Rock in the dress. That's a ritual. His
And
humiliation ritual is to get slapped.
Hey,
So
It's
now
no
he
different
elite.
than a
I don't know
Now he
fraternity.
how.
elite. Now he elite.
he winning from that slap. So
No, watch it
Yeah,
again
them
and
ticket
think
sales
about
that
it.
went up.
Say
I
what?
heard his tickets
Them
went up.
ticket sales that went up since
Yeah.
Of
Sunday night.
course. There's got to be
$350
something.
tickets. They were
And
$35
then
before
guess
Sunday
what?
night.
When he comes to Austin, it's gonna sell out because you're gonna want to go hear the story.
He was
They
expensive
felt the
last
same
time.
thing. You're gonna want to go hear the story about the shit.
So okay, so
Look,
before we
let me
go
finish
ahead,
right quick,
Smack.
'cause I
Yeah,
know
I was gonna say Ivory finished before we
Yeah,
start.
let
Oh,
Ivory
Ivory's back.
finish.
Go ahead.
me, it was just an awful display of
Dang it.
every
Okay, so I'm
time
gonna
she
jump in
gets
real
ready to
quick.
talk,
I'm
Go
gonna
ahead,
jump in.
Jared. Go
Hey,
ahead, Jared.
like everybody said that. Okay, so Chris Rock got slapped, right? But if you notice when he leaned back, I guess he thought Will wasn't finished. He cocked that right arm. He was like, he was getting ready for
I
something.
did see
He
that.
may not.
I did see
Yeah,
that.
he was like, what? And then he thought Will was coming back. So I don't think that, you know, he didn't expect it. And then when it did happen, Chris was he was about to get ready. He's about to get ready. So, you know, we gotta give him that. I just don't, like I said, I've been in a situation and sometimes I've been like, hey, you want me to get this fool? Can I get him? You know what I'm saying? And then she'd be like, yeah. Or she give me a look like, you gonna let this happen? You know what I'm
The
saying?
battery in your back.
Don't forget, though, also, Will Smith has made a career out of being a more moral role model. Like, he made a huge point in his rap career not to cuss and all that kind of stuff. He talks about the movies that he chooses because he wants to be a role model to his kids. And then he walks up and slaps a man for a tiny joke.
But Edward, who's changed that though? Edward, his wife has changed that, and
Yeah,
Red Table Talk has changed the perception of how they view
No
their
more
family
Disney
because
movies.
they've decided to put most of their business out in front of the rest of the world. So even that perception that he's been building up for the last 25 years, I'm not saying because I like their transparency, but what I'm saying is she has decided to open up the door to their home, their relationship, and all of that, which previously he hadn't been doing. So she's responsible for a lot of these arrows and darts that's coming their way.
Nah, I wouldn't say
She's
all
doing
of
the
them.
Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, just her.
I don't think she was necessarily responsible for it. I think they both are. He has to agree. He has to agree to be like that.
Y'all do know that these are movie stars.
From what I see, he don't look like he don't look like he controlled that house at all. From what I
This
can
is the
see.
thing. They agreed upon the open marriage. They agreed on this. This is a fact. This is what they've been into for years prior to us even knowing, since the 90s. They definitely been open marriage. I think what they were trying to do is get in front of the scandal with August Alsina because he started talking. And so that's when she began talking and Bill had to hear the details. Like an open marriage doesn't know that they may not know the details of how their wife or husband get down, but they do know, he occasionally entertain other people. But see, he had to listen to the details.
But hold on.
Also add this to it. Exactly what you just said, but also add she was trying to get in front of it, so she had to go ahead and tell Will.
Right.
And Will, I'm gonna need you to go along with this. I don't want to go along with that. I'm gonna need you to do it. We're married. You got to make it work. And he did it, not thinking he could probably just do it. And then when you're showing up on set and the DP guy over there is chuckling, the person over here is going, oh man, they're playing the August Alsina new single and shit on the cool, so you can kind of hear it. All that kind of shit's going on. All the little looks. You showing up at the red carpet. and niggas
Yeah.
got on August Alsina shirts, like, and you know what's happening.
Everybody doing that.
You know what your boys are saying to you.
Got the shirts on.
No, for real, feel me on this.
Team August.
So he's
Just
been
like we
going
knew
through
what that
that.
joke meant.
He
Just like
took
we
that
knew what that
ridicule
joke
for
meant.
his wife. Hold on. He took that ridicule for his wife and participated in something that no man on here would do. You wouldn't do that because you'd be like, why would I do that? And sit there and act like, oh, yes, well, he was banging your head against the board? Man, that was, wow. What? Y'all know what I'm saying is real. That's why everybody quiet right now, but hold on.
No, I was just letting you speak, but you're right, brother. Keep on.
He did that for his wife. That's and you know what? On a level, that's some G shit. Okay, your wife needs you to help her get past the scandal. Y'all got to work it out. Damn, you just springing this on me. Okay, so we're doing it. But now he making a song. Now, not too long ago, Will Smith. Now they're trying to change the narrative and say we never said there was any sexual relations.
Yeah, they trying to.
You notice how they're trying to change it now, and they're going to keep repeating that until it becomes true. But it's not.
Okay, so but let me go back. Let me go back to what Nikki was. I mean, not Nikki. Go ahead.
Your wife, bro, slept with your son's friend.
We had a conversation about that.
But that's what I'm saying. But let that really soak in. And now
it didn't soak in from the conversation we had last time. All the women on here was okay with it. The women who were on here at the time we had the conversation.
And I was okay with it because they were in an open marriage. I didn't give a fuck.
And I think people are looking past that shit, and it's like, no, fam, hold on. Y'all letting that gloss over. Did you hear it? Let me say it again. His wife slept with his 21-year-old son's friend.
Yes. So let me say.
And now you want me
to respond to Tierra. Let me respond to Tierra. Even with the open, even with an open relationship, you can agree to an open relationship, but that don't mean that you're agreeing to have it open to the public. That don't mean that you agree to have conversations about how you had open relationships and about those, because obviously they've had that type of relationship for a while, but they didn't speak on it. See, you having a relationship and then you sitting down at a red table speaking about those relationships are two different things. Everybody that's in a relationship don't mean they want to open up their bedroom doors to the rest of the world. Right. So even still, they might have had that agreement. That don't mean he was okay with the way things are going right now to that extent. And it don't seem like he's handling it well, to tell you the truth.
Right.
Nikki, what you got? I'll let you take back over whatever, wherever you want to, direction you want to take this.
I mean, I too don't think that he had the right to go on stage, but again, it's like when you believe there may be another side to this, it kind of affects how you felt about it, right? So like on Sunday and Monday, yeah. I mean, I'm in jail for making the comment that I made that I support knocking your fucking teeth in to defend your wife. Like, I support that shit, you know?
That's why you in jail, Nikki?
That's why I'm in jail. That's why
y'all do know people die when they fall down sometimes, right?
I understand all that. And as I've said this whole entire time, there are equal reactions for every action. It doesn't make it right. Him walking on stage was not the proper thing to do. There was a million different ways he could have handled that. There's a million different ways we can handle our shit. But the human in us, has fucking flaws. And we only know like what these people, not these people, we only know what the TV shows us. We only know what the handlers want us to see. We only know what's scripted for us to get out of their relationship. We don't know what happens in their house. We have no clue how many animals and 20-year-old boys are in their fucking bedroom. We have no what they really actually do in their house. So there's so many elements of this that we don't know. So I understood the part of him looking over and seeing his wife feeling like, this motherfucker just made a joke about my bald head because of my condition. I can easily see him as her husband, who has clearly been embarrassed and very emotionally triggered for the last couple of months, has been a meme from every fucking body. And like you said, Tierra, people laughed at Chadwick Boseman. People laughed at Will Smith in some of maybe the most hurt of spaces he's ever been in. So, and you asked Trisha, you asked about Kanye. My statement was, keep poking a fucking bear and you're gonna get bit. It's going to happen. And, you know, but at the same time, I also, like I said, my second response to that slap was this real? So
Right.
going off emotion, going off initially, what I thought was Chris was Will Smith going on stage, walking for 27 minutes before he got to the fucking stage, which I didn't understand that. Like, who's going to stand there and let themselves get punched? But then I also thought maybe everybody's like literally just fucking in shock because this can't possibly be happening, right?
Yeah.
But this man is literally
adults at formal events don't behave that way. That's
I
why
agree, but humans
wouldn't
do
expect
human
that.
shit. Humans respond in ways that are not predictable. I'm not saying it's right. I'm not justifying it. I'm saying this is what fucking happens in the real world.
It sounds like you justifying it.
And
No,
let's stop
I
acting like
said repeatedly I don't think it was right for him to do that. I would have chosen a million different things, but I understand if this happened the way that we think that it happened, saying it's not staged. If I understand Will looking at his wife. Will's looking at his wife every single day lose her hair. We don't know what struggle those two go through together at home as she's brushing her fucking hair and it's coming out, or she's doing something in the shower and her hair is falling out and it won't grow back. And people say, well, the joke wasn't that bad. To you, people
Right.
say, oh, well, men are bald every day. That's patriarchy.
Let me throw. Oh, I ain't heard that word in a long time.
There's so many variables about this dynamic as to why I said that I support defending your wife and knocking somebody's teeth out. But I do not support just going and fucking assaulting somebody. There are better, more appropriate ways you can handle those situations. Absolutely.
Okay, so I have a follow
Real
up.
goes
Well,
wrong.
okay, hold on, Jared, just a second. Sherry, you ain't said nothing in a second. You got anything else, Sherry?
I wanted to say, well, I also think that the irresponsibility was like at a normal comedy show. Like sometimes when a comedian goes hard on someone, that people will run up to the stage to like beat their ass, but there's security there to like. I know George Lopez has like some of the best like CIA agents that are there on the ready to make sure that he's not about to get punched in the face, right? So I think that if this, I think that yes, Will Smith used his celebrity to be able to get up there the way he did, right? That I don't think was fair. I think that just also perpetrates that celebrities get away with more shit than average person. Because if it would have been because this happens all the time. There's at nice fancy events, there'll be a wackadoodle running up to the stage naked, flashing. They get stopped before they even make it through the little fence that's there at those events, right?
Or Sherry, at football games, if a person
Oscars
jumps
is
out
too
and runs
elite for
around
that.
on the field,
Right.
they don't get to go home after the game over and throw up bottles and start partying.
True.
They're
going
going
to
for the rest of the night.
The
That's
Oscars
true.
is too elite.
Well, Smack,
When I was
would
with
say
when I was
that,
with Roy
but
Jones, he went to the Oscars. Could none of us go in or even on the premises?
Wow.
had
It's
incidents
so
where
it's-
they
I
had
think
it's an
that-
award
security.
show for the
They
elite.
had
Right. And also if you
Stop.
notice what really confused me, did y'all notice the audience laughing at the slap? Listen to the audio of it.
You think it's a bit?
It was a
No, I
skit.
don't. I think
Gone wrong.
that they were so surprised they didn't know how to react. But I think that it shows how desensitized we are to physical violence because we see
people
it in
didn't
videos.
understand what was going on. You figure
Yeah, I think they
everything
thought
is
it was
a
a bit.
comedy, it's a bit. This was just something that was staged.
Fair.
And then
But I
Chris
think
Rock was
it-
like, he just slapped the ish out of me.
Right.
And then
He's
it was-
like, this is
and
the
then he
greatest
sat
And what
film
kind
down.
of tone
ever.
did he
So
say it
people-
in? Did
so
he
what
say it in
people-
a mean tone?
He was
Or
like, he
in a
just slapped
comic
it. And then
tone?
people kind of
Comic
laughed.
tone.
He
It
said
was
it
a
in his
skit.
Chris Rock tone. But what happened is, when there wasn't no follow-up thing to it, he just sat down and Chris was like, man. And so then people was like, okay,
Sure.
what's the follow-up punchline? They know, okay, was this actually a joke?
When he saw it wasn't working.
True.
That dead silence made you think like, okay, maybe this wasn't a Jared. What you got on your mind? So I know you had your hand up.
No, that's cool. You're exactly right. I mean, just off the joke, what if he would have said something like, can't wait to see Predator 4 start featuring August Alsina, or what if that would have been something a little harder.
That would have been,
or that would have been like that. Or I wish what Chris Rock would have did was said something back. I wish he would have been like, I keep her name on my mouth, but you can't keep her mouth off somebody else. I would have hit him back. You know what I'm saying?
Martin Lawrence
That's
would
what
have
comedians
turned
do.
into a different session for like
Then
another
you would
20
have.
minutes.
Then, like Smack said, you really done turned it into something else. if it's supposed to be this
You already
elite
got
event,
smacked
which
in
I don't
natural
think it's an
tip.
elite event.
Yeah, by the time you
But-
get smacked, man, what else you gonna do?
Hey,
You know?
it's whatever. At that point, it's whatever.
But hold on, but Tierra,
It's
before
not
you
an
come
elite
in,
event.
Tierra, before you come in, let me say this about this. The other part about the joke. Chris Rock was operating within his bounds. Now, there were 3 people that were nominated for it. The first guy was nominated, him and his wife was nominated for an award. He made a joke about the guy and his wife. Like, yo, if she don't win, then you can't win. You can't come home after that, this and this and that.
That's what he was laughing
Hold
at.
on. Let me make my point though. He made a joke about the guy and his wife because they're both actors and they're both in the industry. He made a joke about Denzel. He did not make a joke about Denzel's wife because Denzel's wife is not an actor and she's not in the industry. So when it came to,
It's not the elite.
it doesn't make sense to make a joke about her if she's not in that industry. Will Smith and his wife are both in the industry. So he made a joke about both of them. And to Jared's point, he didn't make an August Alsina joke, which he could have did, which a lot of people would have did. He didn't call her out a name or call her hoe, call her something crazy. He made a movie reference while they were at a movie award show. It was in character with the industry that they are in. That joke is not out of bounds. Now, I'm sorry. Go ahead, Tierra. You can say whatever you want to say.
What I was going to say is I think we hold these award shows to such a high regard, and it really shouldn't be, because they've had actually acts of some type of violence that was going to be prohibited by security. Clint Eastwood and I forgot the other gentleman's name, was actually going to attack a woman on stage because she said she wanted indigenous people rights. So
it was John Wayne and Littlefeather.
John Wayne, yeah, they had to keep. So they've had security. Why wasn't Chris Rock the same type of security?
Right.
Probably because maybe it is some kind of truth to maybe something that they may have rehearsed.
It was allowed to happen.
But even if they had security, are they going to tackle Will Smith? Or are they just going to kind of go along?
They would have caught him.
They would have at least stopped him. They should have stopped him.
To going up the
If
stage.
it was real,
like
Even
that
if
now
it was
makes
real.
nobody safe on stage.
Think about that. Hold on. At the MTV Awards, hold on. That's my point, Tierra. They didn't stop Kanye because why? It was Kanye. If somebody else, a random person, tried to jump up there with Taylor Swift, they would have tackled him.
Right.
Edward, you ain't said nothing in the second. Jump
I
in,
think they
sir.
learned from Kanye.
Right.
Yeah, obviously not. Oh well, no, they ain't.
I'm gonna say there's multiple factors here that I find weird about it. I absolutely agree. No one would have stopped Will Smith because number one, it's a TV show and it's one celebrity walking up on stage.
Right.
And knowing Will Smith's past, you assume he's probably going to walk up and, like, at the most, put him in a headlock and do a little noogie.
Right.
You don't expect
Chris Rock's bodyguard would have ran out there.
If they thought anything was legit going to happen.
It was allowed to happen. It was a skit.
Well, even if it's not a skit, I could absolutely see, and I'm not saying it's not one way or the other.
Oscars.
Right.
Yeah, I'm not saying it's one way or the other, but anything that happens at the Oscars is ratings. So they're going to tell people, unless it's an obvious threat, let it happen, right? Because it's just good for ratings.
Did they kick him out the building?
Hold on. Hey, y'all let him finish.
I'm not saying they planned it, but I'm also not saying they didn't. I'm saying I don't care, but I am saying you could easily go either way. A celebrity walks towards the stage, they're not going to jump him, assuming he's going to attack anybody.
Right.
And
I agree with
it's
that.
good for ratings, even if he does slap him. The TV show is not going to want to stop it. But the part that I really find more ridiculous about the whole thing is the fact that, like when Nikki was saying, people do dumb things. These are people who've made an entire career out of knowing you're being watched. Like Will Smith was a star as a kid. You know the camera's watching you. You know you're going to get judged for every little thing you do. You've spent your entire life growing up with, you will have consequences to everything you do. I don't believe that he just reacted in the moment. Either it was a setup or he chose to take any opportunity he could get to stand up for himself. One or the other. Either way, and it kind of served both purposes for him. But I don't believe it was an emotional reaction from somebody who's spent his entire life knowing he's being watched and knowing how to behave in front of the cameras.
I touched on this a second ago. Go ahead. Well, let me ask you this, Trish, and then you can say what you're gonna say. I touched on this for a second, but I didn't go all the way through. Does anybody feel that Jada has some culpability in the culmination of this whole situation. I'll let you answer that, and then you say what you're gonna say.
I'm
Go ahead,
sure
Trish.
she's added to the stress of the situation for sure. I'm sure she's a major part of why Will has this chip on his shoulder, because that reaction was completely out of character for a lifetime of stuff that he's done, right? It is something that you would do if you're trying to give a persona of, I want to look tough. The pressure that he's gotten from the situation with her has tested his manhood in a way that nothing else in his career has. I don't think it was necessarily planned as much as, yeah, he absolutely took the opportunity. And it was because of pressure from her and a variety of other people. He wasn't ready for this poking at his manhood for as long as it's been going on, right? Mm-hmm. So I think it was planned and thought out. Not necessarily Chris Rock was involved with the plan, but I think Will was planning it out and ready for any opportunity.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
But Will Smith has shown, like, in interviews before, that he's emotional. He gets sensitive. I mean, he'll cry and
on camera break out and hit anybody ever in his entire career. Has anyone ever seen Will Smith attack somebody?
We never heard about it.
I mean, I don't follow the guy religiously.
Well,
I've never even heard of him hitting.
Will's not that type of energy, man.
Exactly. And he
knows.
He's not.
Emotional and violent.
Yeah, that West Philly came out.
Just because he's from West Philly, that don't mean he's street tough.
I'm just saying
he's just not. Well, he's just a nerd. He's like a nerd dude. Come on, man.
I saw a meme where.
But I think also he handled this on camera, which a lot of times they handle it. Like Tess said, they handle it off camera. You know, like, who knows what goes on, you know, behind the scenes. But he handled it on camera, which, he put it on display for a reason. But I don't know. And the way Chris was standing when he was coming up on the stage, to me, it looked like Chris was going to, like, give him the mic. Like, he was like, all right, what do you want to say? Or whatever. I don't know if it was. Yeah,
that would be a normal.
Well, kind of like I don't know.
It was a weird. His posture was very questionable. His whole stance was very questionable.
It was questionable, right?
He even leaned forward.
It wasn't questionable.
He even leaned forward.
No.
It wasn't
and he braced his neck. And
he thought that Will Smith was gonna come say something to him on the side or whatever.
Exactly.
So he stepped away from the mic. He had his hand
Dude, y'all
behind
watching
him.
What
What you guys say?
See, when somebody, when a dude walk up on you and you like say what, bro, and you lean in like, what's good? You know what I'm saying? You finna hear something, and he heard.
He didn't lean in as he approached, though.
Yeah, well,
he was leaning in before he was walking. He already knew this is the moment that I'm supposed to get slapped. Here we go. He's bracing himself.
I disagree with that.
If that is,
he gets slapped. He gets slapped. Sherry, you're a comedian, right?
Mm-hmm.
No.
He gets slapped. 2. Wow. Will Smith just slapped. He said that shit with comedic timing. Come on. It was a skit.
No, hold on. Let me say.
Look.
If you're staging something, you don't lean forward and expose your face.
Look at his face.
Not if it's pre-planned, you don't do that. You only do that if you.
Do we got any actors? Look at the stage slap. I talked about this. Look at his elbow. It's by his side.
Will literally did this. How he do fake slaps?
Oh my god, man!
Hey, hold on. It looks like a fake slap.
Let's have this conversation.
Look a little something.
Smack hold on. Smack gonna keep going here. So let's get this part of it out the way first.
I wonder if he'd been drinking.
That's a good question. Hold on, we ain't gonna get to that. Let's get to this. Hold on, Smack. Let's get to this part of it first.
I can't hear y'all.
Anybody believe that it was definitely staged or probably staged or even possibly staged? Like how anybody think it was staged?
I do.
Possibly. Yeah.
I do. You think it was staged? Here, think
my
it was
mind
staged.
keeps going back to that.
I do.
I think
Trish, what you say? You think it was staged, Trish?
My mind keeps going back to that, but the thing is, like, in terms of critiquing, if they did, let's say they did, then the question would be, if they did, then I would not put up a high rating because it took away from all the rest of the award winners. Like,
That's a good
Dude,
point.
They don't give a
The
damn.
only
They,
reason I don't think it
So
was
that's the
staged,
question. So that's the question. That's the question. On the stage side, that's the question is why. In the whys, there's a whole bunch of theories as to why would they allow this to happen.
Okay,
Why?
answer the question. Why
There's only
would
one
they
reason I
allow
think
this
it
to
wasn't
happen?
staged.
Why would it be? Why would they
Ratings.
stage it? Let's ask.
Well, I think you could stage it for ratings or whatever, but the only reason I don't think it was staged is, let's be
That's
honest,
not
Chris
the
Rock is
Oscars
a
brand.
funny bastard. If it was staged, he would have had time to
Yeah,
come
he
up
don't
with
brand.
a much better follow-up. The way he just looked completely confused by it all, that's the main reason I think he did not see it coming.
Yeah, he didn't.
Now, I'm not saying it was
Actors. This is what they do. They're actors. They're paid to do this.
They're so
Smack. Hold
talented. They're
on.
winning awards.
Smack, you should know this better than most people. Smack.
Listen, man.
Hold on, Smack. Hold on, Smack. Let me tell you this first, though.
Give him a
You
specific
hold on.
question.
Smack is the master of branding. Is he not? Smack is the master of branding.
I'm
You know
still a
that there's
student.
certain
I'm still a
people.
student. I'm still
Okay, you still a student, but you know, we got that. Now we ain't talking about the Wives of Atlanta or some of these other hip hop Hollywood, whatever that stuff is. You could stage type of, but because that's fighting and slapping and throwing plastic cups and stuff, that's part of their brand.
Isn't
With
that
the
stage?
hold on. With the Oscars, you already know they do want ratings.
Yeah.
But they only want them in a certain way. You're not going to diminish your brand in order for ratings. Certain places won't diminish their brand just to get ratings. Not that type of way. And they ain't never went on slap somebody and that's not the way that they would work.
Okay, can I jump in now? Before I forget all the shit I want to say.
Yes, and then I can't see your name. Y'all put everybody's names down.
I get where y'all coming from. I have to kind of break it down a little slow just so you can follow me. Just feel what I'm saying and look at it from a different standpoint.
Okay, right. And then Sherry, you go after that.
A couple things. You just talked about the Atlanta Housewives. What do? Don't they stage what they're doing? We are in the era of staging shit. They've been staging fake videos on YouTube and TikTok of fake. I caught my girlfriend cheating, but it's fake. They're staging up, right? Everybody's in the stage pranking and all this shit. So guess what? It's 2022 now. Ain't nobody been watching the Oscars for like 10 years. They got some younger people up in that elite saying, we need to stage some shit. Now, to go with what Edward was saying, what I believe is, now, let me bring it back though. Fellas in the room, really ask yourself, you're with your wife or your girl, whoever, and you basically find out she's banging your son's friend. And so it's kind of like, it's pedophile-ish in a way. It's like, damn, my wife's a pedophile, and now she's coming to me saying, hey, we need to get ahead of this storm, and we got to do this red table talk, because she's looking at it like, this is going to boost my ratings. I don't want to do that shit. I don't even want to, what the fuck are you doing? Right? So he does it. Maybe he does it because he got his wife's back. Commend him for that. Whatever. They got to stick together thick and thin. Whatever. He does it, not really wanting to do it. Go back and look at it. He's just sitting there.
What they got to do with the Oscars, though? What they got to do with the Oscars?
Hold on. He's doing the red table talk, basically having a conversation to the public, which made him look soft as fuck.
You losing me right now because you're not connecting.
All these jokes behind it, because none of us men would do that. We would just take that L, bro.
You're losing me
like,
still.
I'm
what did
not
I got? You saying this is staged? How would the Academy be in cahoots with Will Smith in order to stage it?
I gotta walk it to it. This is like the moon landing. You can't just say this and that.
All right, look, you got to go to fast version because we got 9 people.
Okay, well, I'm trying, but you keep stopping me. So this happened. So what Edward was saying, this was also part of helping his image. You just did the movie that ain't nobody seen. Ain't none of y'all seen. And he gets an Oscar for it. We ain't even seen this movie. Ratings,
that
we ain't seen this movie. Marketing, you just called me the whatever marketing. Okay, so here's a way to market it. And Will's now like, man, we need to change my image. I just did this movie where I'm a strong black man. I want to be that. Not a superhero, not 6 Degrees Separation, not Will Smith, the ha, not the Bad Boys franchise. I need a new thing. So like what Edward was saying, this is also going to help. You get to slap Chris Rock. Chris Rock knew he was going to get slapped. Watch the video. This is the Oscars.
Connect it for me, please.
What was the question again, so I can answer it because I got so far.
Why would the Academy damage their brand? You talking about Will Smith?
Okay. Why would they?
Hold on.
Okay. Let me go there before I forget it.
They didn't damage their brand.
They didn't damage their brand.
Yeah, I don't think so.
It's called rebrand. All they did was try. Guess what? Their ratings have been sucking for 10 years. Look at us.
Yes.
We got to do something new. Well, what's working out here? All these fake ass staged videos.
Flipping tables, throwing drinks in people's faces.
That shit is working. They're actually behind the curve. And the Jussie Smollett was the first attempt. It just wasn't on video. This was very Jussie Smollett-ish. Except we're going to catch it on video. We say something about Jada. Will Smith already knows to get his Oscar, he's going to have to slap Chris Rock. Chris Rock already knows that he's going to be slapped. Maybe by Will or by a celebrity. You can tell as it's happening because you're watching a live skit happen. As he slaps him and he turns around, he's still smiling. Chris Rock smiling through the whole slap. Like a skit at an award show for movies where they act out movies at an award show. So they're acting out in front of you a drama, right? What happened, though, that went wrong, in my opinion, when Will Smith is walking back, the crowd it didn't go over too well. Or whatever the reason was. When he sat down, he started yelling, which threw Chris Rock off, as I agree. But then when he said it the second time, Chris Rock became confused because he's like, you're divvying from the skit, like, and he's waiting like that. He's like, they're talking to him in his ear, or he's either reading the teleprompter. I wasn't there, so I don't know, but I believe it was in his ear because that's how they do shit on stage. They're telling him in his ear the line. He still delivers the line, and now he must deliver that next line. And he still said, after being slapped on national TV, a grown black man knowing he just got slapped. Wow, that was the greatest thing in television. Why would that already be written?
Wow.
Yeah, that one fucked me up. When he said that, I was like, God damn it.
And he had to say it because it's his job, but he also knows at the same time.
Let me ask. I want to get clarity and let me go to Tierra.
One more thing. He knew at that moment, that part of the ritual deal, whatever, he got the shit into the stick because now, I look like the bitch that got slapped. There was another part of the skit that was supposed to happen. That didn't happen. Will Smith made it his moment. Because if it was about the alopecia, I'm sorry, ladies, I know that's sensitive, but he didn't say nothing about it. He would have used that moment to talk about it and say why he did what he did. He didn't.
Let me get clarity.
Because it was a skit that was allowed to happen.
Let me
he
get
cried
clarity,
like he
and then
does
I'm
in
gonna
his
go to
movies
Tierra.
because that's when we first fell in love with Will Smith.
Smack. Let me get clarity, and then I'm gonna go to Tierra.
All right.
So you believe? Simple response. You believe that Will Smith, Chris Rock, and the Academy was all in on it? Correct?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I wanted to know. Okay.
No different than Paramount movies. You're in on the movie, bro.
Let me jump to Tierra. Tierra, what do you got to say, Tierra?
I was probably saying that I'm feeling with Smack saying. I think they just didn't. It didn't go over well with the audience, and so they had to kind of like, now we have to do 911 recovery type of shit because it didn't go as planned. Let me say this about rebranding a type of event. Let's go back to Justin Timberlake and Janet Jackson. Many people said that was staged.
True.
How do you have a wardrobe flaw like that?
Yeah, I question that. I question that.
Everybody was talking about it then. Talking about the Oscars now. So I don't think it's far-fetched to think it's staged. I think it's very plausible.
I'm gonna respond to what Denise just said. Comedian improv is not Chris Rock's specialty.
It definitely
he does not do well going off script. That's not his specialty. A lot of people it is, but Chris Rock does not his improv. Did you see him in Saturday Night Live? He didn't do well.
Terrible.
But remember, comedians have good days and bad days.
But no, improv is not his thing at all, and he'll be the first one to tell you that. That ain't. I mean,
I guess it depends where you catch him.
No, you can't catch him. No, you tell me somewhere where he did good improv. He doesn't.
No, I'm saying I've been around comedians when they just do pop-ups, and sometimes it'd be like, damn, that shit should have been like And then because they're just going off the head, they're just,
I ain't talking
you know
about
what I mean?
Yeah, Chris Rock don't go off the head. That's what I'm telling you.
Chris Rock ain't even funny.
I don't know. I've been at a party where Chris Rock was kind of
Agreed
funny.
here. He's not funny to me.
Naturally.
He's not funny.
He's
Right?
not.
He has writers.
That goes back. That goes back to one of my other points. I think it's more acceptable with a lot of people because overall, a lot of people just don't like Chris Rock. Either they don't care
Y'all
for
saying Chris
comedy.
Rock's not funny? That's
It
kind
does,
of funny.
he's a certain taste. He's a certain taste for people. Now he's in a lot of people's Mount Rushmore of comedy, but it's for certain people, and a lot of people don't care for his comedy, or they just don't like his style, or they don't like him. So it's easy to bypass. Like, well, you should have. If
right,
yeah, exactly. You say you do like her.
I don't.
No.
I don't. And
Okay, that makes sense.
stuff
That makes
Rock
sense.
love.
Right. She's a female Chris Rock. So like, if you don't, it don't make sense to
political
like her and
comment.
not like the other.
Yeah.
So, but what I'm saying is, if they anyway, I ain't gonna go to that part. It's easier to not take up for somebody when you don't really like them in the first place. That's all I was gonna say.
But the same thing can be said for Jada. It's easy to not take up for her, which we've seen for the last 3 days. Oftentimes, many people's feedback has been negative towards her because y'all don't like Jada. She cheated on her motherfucking man. She put him out there like that. She made him look weak sauce. She took his nuts and just fucking squeezed them. So, I mean, and I'm not saying I'm really not saying anything. I'm just playing devil's advocate in the same way that, that you may feel like we not, going for Chris Rock. A lot of men did not go for this shit either because they're like, fuck Jada. Fuck her. And I made a joke, and it was not really a joke, but it wasn't. But I said that you can see a whole lot of hurt men coming out of this feedback. You can see a whole lot of men who were cheated on, who have not dealt with that hurt yet by the things that they were saying about fuck Jada, team Chris and woo. And again, those are the first 2 days when everything was very emotional and people were responding emotionally as opposed to watching it play out a little bit, seeing what's behind what we first saw, seeing what we didn't see, and that's why I thought it was important to look at the emotional side, because so many of us had an emotional response to this, which is super fucking valid.
Show me the difference, Nikki. I because this you brought a thought toward me, and anybody can jump in, but I'm gonna ask you first, Nikki, because we had a couple of conversations about Dave Chappelle's latest stand-up, and we applaud Dave Chappelle for his edginess and his tenacity to stay on his line and to speak toward that, but not just the truth. He's speaking on topics that are uncomfortable for most people. People not really are scared to talk about it now. In this instance, do we feel like we need to start rolling back what comedians are able to say? Are we able to just talk about specific content, but we can't name people? Are we no longer allowed to just speak directly toward a person, or where should we draw the line back for all of the people who say that Will Smith was validated for doing what he did? What should comedians get from this, and how should they roll it back?
Real simple. It shouldn't be about comedians. It should be about the audience. Comedians can say whatever the hell they want to say. If you don't like it, complain about it, verbalize it. But like Smack was saying, it's never been okay to walk up and hit anybody under any circumstance for any reason.
But Edward, it's a lot of people saying it was okay for him. I see why he did it.
A lot of people are dumb. A lot of people are dumb and condone violence. It's against the law for a reason. Which
I don't condone violence. I'm simply saying, in that situation or in a situation, i.e., I have 2 daughters. If anybody were to disrespect or say, treat them in a way, if they had alopecia areata or whatever, then I'm going to defend them. And whether it be
by doing what?
Smacking the life out of their ass if I can.
So what would it take for somebody for you to shoot them?
Is valid that.
Well, that's the thing.
He didn't call him bald head. He didn't say look at them with some spot on your head. He didn't say the word alopecia. He didn't do any of that stuff.
But he implied it.
He did not apply alopecia. He did imply that she was bald headed.
He implied.
And she's bald
headed. He didn't know her situation.
No, you're not. No. You can't automatically equate the two. Just because I call somebody bald-headed, that if I see somebody on the street and I say bald-headed, that don't mean I'm speaking about alopecia, whether I know if they got it or not. I'm talking about the state of their hair, which is non-existent.
Right. I
Right,
agree with
but
that, Quentin.
right,
It
but
just triggered her because she
Right.
knows what is as the result is.
Exactly.
But he didn't
Comedians be
necessarily have to
responsible
know
for
it.
every
So it
person
triggered
that
He didn't
gets
have to
her.
triggered.
necessarily say,
It
It's
triggered her,
look.
but she put the battery and wheel back.
I love
She was
comedy.
It looked
I
like
love
she did.
jokes.
he jumped up there and did that himself.
And he
I
went to go
love
throw his
comedy.
career away if it was
I
real.
love
But
jokes.
it's
I
not.
love-
Hold on a
So-
second. Hold on. Stokely, finish your comment, sir. I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying, I love comedy. I love jokes. I'm not saying censor people. I'm simply saying and again, I said it earlier, me personally, Darren Andre Scott, Stokely the third I would have responded. And that's just it. Yeah, that's it.
Can I say this?
So you
Had it not
respond,
been
you
the
slap him, you
Oscars-
go to jail. Now what?
I go to jail and get out, and then I'm gonna be.
But how can you protect them now over that you're in jail over some words that
I
like here's and I feel you though, but here's my thing. I feel that, but I still think there's a level of because with men, you don't know what's going to happen in an altercation.
You don't.
You're about to enter into a lane where
I
really
don't know what's gonna. I don't know what the outcome could be
because they might be on some like
Right.
we fighting to the death. You ain't even built for that.
Right,
You ain't
right. And I understand that. I mean, some people are crazier than others, and I
so
get it.
you have to
Another
be.
question in a second. All right,
you
hold
feel-
on.
If you get taken off the chessboard, then you're not protecting them.
Yeah, I understand. I understand your position.
I got
Now
another
you
question
can't
in a
protect
second. Hold on, let me get Tier. Jump in,
chess
Tier.
moves.
Had this happened, I think a lot of people would have been stomached it a little better if it wasn't on camera or on this Oscar stage. I'm just saying. I think what we're doing is we're saying it's wrong for the venue he was at. And then it's like I feel like a little people would have been more comfortable if it was back behind the stage at the after party, somewhere else. I think a lot of people would have stomached it a lot better.
And Tier, I would have stomached it a little better. It still would have been wrong, but I would have stomached it better if it was The Rock instead of Chris Rock. If you slapping somebody I'm like,
It really would have been staged.
Will is really about that life. I mean, do it to somebody who really could do something to you.
You gonna slap dudes from the WWE and that ain't staged?
But when you smack Chris Rock, it makes you look like a bully. And that's
Can I ask y'all a question?
Sure, go ahead.
Like, how do so how much of a delay was that that was a live recording? How much of that was delayed? And then what confuses me is the producers allowing it to be like shown on national TV without, like, if you think about other award shows and stuff like that, if something doesn't go right, they'll choose to not play it. Like they have systems to like bleep out curse words and stuff like that. Like, do you think it was strategic of them if they would have removed it and then later shown it, or letting it play live as it was?
Sherry, I'm gonna just tell you like this: during his speech, they were able to block out stuff all of a sudden. When Will went up there for his speech, they had blacked out several times. So the fact that they couldn't do that during that whole scenario,
right?
Okay.
Well,
they wanted it to be shown.
Yeah, well, the delay started from the Janet Jackson and Justin Timberlake thing. That's when that 6-second delay, whatever happened.
Right, yeah.
Look at it.
True.
You know
But that's if you were watching TV.
After that. Like live can't be absolutely live anymore after that happened.
Yeah,
they got
really?
You could if you watch it online, it went straight through.
See, like right now, I'm gonna
but
say
they watched it on like it was like foreign TV or something like that.
It went straight through.
Now hold on, let me ask a question. Go ahead.
Sure. No, go ahead.
Well, let me ask you, because I'm going off of a statement that Jules put right here. Does anybody feel like we use the term like Dave Chappelle talked about punching down? Do you feel like he was punching down on Jada when he made that joke?
Yes.
This is a women versus men question.
I think she's an easy target.
Yeah.
Easy target.
Sure. If you go to a comedy show and you sit in the front, you're an easy target.
So let me ask:
two things can be true at the same time.
Let me ask this question: if Will wasn't being nominated for the biggest award of that night,
Right.
do you think he would have made that joke?
I don't know. I don't know.
He was up there for us. He only made
He
jokes
wouldn't be
about the
sitting
3
in the
people that
front
were
row.
nominated.
Mm.
He wouldn't have made it.
That's a good point.
Homework, y'all. Y'all need to research the
But he
Oscars
could
and their
have
rituals.
picked another joke. He could have written or
didn't
went to
need
his
to.
writers. I don't
Then
know
that's
what
when I
writers.
have a
And
problem,
made-
Jerry. When we try
Huh?
to critique people's jokes and say, well, you shouldn't have said it like that, or you should have said this,
Right.
or you should have like,
Yeah.
well,
What was
he
it like
could have,
2
but he
years ago?
didn't. Like,
What was the one with Ricky Gervais?
I'm not smart enough to come up with a
Ricky
good
Gervais
joke. I
was
mean,
the host of one of these things. Remember when Ricky Gervais was the host? He insulted everybody. Like Ricky
Yeah, I
Gervais
watched a
was the
recap
host.
of that today, and I was like, "Damn!" He called everybody pedophiles and
Yeah.
said, "That's
He
your
roasted
pedophile
the
friend."
audience.
And he
Yeah.
said, "I don't
He
care."
did. Yeah.
Nobody
That
got up
he
and
didn't
hit
get
him.
slapped.
It's not
No,
about
he
And
said,
they wrote
"I don't
that.
care." It's my last
Yeah.
thing because I don't
And
care.
that was uncomfortable.
But the point is, a comedian's allowed to be exactly as offensive as they want to be because that's kind of the point of comedy. They're
He's hired.
supposed
It's
They're
a
hired
line.
for the party to do it.
There's a line that they have drawn.
Then they wouldn't have
because
paid
There's no
there was a
line
guy.
because you're
There
hired
was
to
a
come
guy
be.
on Seinfeld who was using nigga
And he got
comedy skit, and people didn't find that funny
true.
at
But
all.
he
It's
did
the
it
way
outside
it's-
the elite.
But I'm just saying, it's a good comedian able to deliver, and it's tasteful, but yet raunchy, right? It's
Yeah.
a skill. It's a skill. Everybody don't have that skill. Like a lot of people, like there was it was several white comedians that had crossed some lines. Even Roseanne calling a girl a monkey or whatever. You know what I'm saying?
But see,
People
they
like
can get
that
away
was
with a
too
whole lot
much.
of shit too, though. I mean, as much as
Right.
we.
So where is the line?
Right.
Y'all remember the show? Do y'all remember the show that Chris Rock, Adam Sandler, all them sat around in a circle and they would call each other niggers?
I don't
I
remember
seen
that.
Y'all remember
and
that?
People were
Oh, y'all remember that
were
TV
looking
show?
at they were looking at Chris side
I
eye.
want y'all to look that up.
Look it
You
up.
gotta look it
Oh,
up.
what?
It's
I mean, on the
hilarious.
Donahue show, they used to
What's
say
it
that. I
called?
mean, at different times,
They would sit
would
around all the
say that.
comics and say the most
What was it
degrading,
called?
foul things ever to each other. I'm talking every racial slur, everything.
Damn. I know Don
Look it up.
Rickles.
Chris Rock
Don
is,
Rickles.
and hold on. Chris Rock is the black dude. It's a black dude, a white dude, a Jewish dude, an Asian dude, right? But it's like what's the dude from Seinfeld? It's Seinfeld. It's I can't think
Jerry
of the other guy who
Seinfeld.
does the little car taxi thing now. I think one was Jimmy Kimmel, and they were all saying it. They're like nigga, and he's like, you fucking look it up on YouTube.
Damn, I didn't see this.
Yes,
Yeah,
this is what
they
I'm
were
saying,
calling
y'all.
him-
Y'all
they
have
were
to. I just
calling
want to
Rock
make this
nigga
one
to
more
his face.
statement. Yeah, just to give it
See?
some perspective.
That ain't no surprise.
Y'all got to remember that y'all are looking at the Oscar Awards that give out awards for Hollywood movies of their acting. And they've always done little rituals like somebody gets slapped, somebody gets kissed. You've seen that where, oh, so-and-so kissed. Oh,
Who got
what's her
slapped
name?
on the
And it'd be
Academy Awards
and y'all
before?
just think it's a kiss, but no, it's part of the fraternity
Smack.
that they're doing.
Smack.
Look up the history of the Oscars.
Who got
Do y'all
smacked on the
remember a
Academy?
woman named Whitney
Sir?
Houston?
Sir,
And you remember her ritual on her way out of here?
smack. Who got
Yeah.
smacked on the Academy Awards before?
No, I'm saying the Oscars. They do little things like that.
Oscars.
Somebody
Who got
might get
smacked?
slapped. Somebody kisses. Somebody
Who
comes
got
out in a
smacked?
dress.
I'm asking you a question, sir.
Somebody
Who got
falls
smacked
down.
before?
Say what?
Who got smacked before on at the Academy Awards?
Oh, I don't know. The
I
Academy
know at an
Awards.
award
I don't
show,
know
I
Academy
think
Awards.
the ladies from Dynasty got to fighting in the back though.
I'm talking about in front of the cameras. The Oscars, not the Academy
I'm just
Awards.
saying.
The
The
Oscars.
same thing. It's the same
No,
thing.
it's
really?
not. It's a different fraternity.
I'm sorry. The Academy Award and the Oscars is not the same thing.
No, it's a different. It's different. That's why I said
Somebody
y'all need to
please
look
tell
up
me. I need confirmation. Is it
y'all
different
need to
between the
look up the
Academy Award
history
and
of
the
the
Oscars?
Oscars.
I don't know
Why
what
y'all
Look
that
into
is.
the
y'all don't
history
hear
of the
what I'm
No, I
Oscars.
think it's the same.
It's the same thing. Thank you. Somebody please speak up. Tiebreaker, please.
Is
Thank you.
is one of the production and one is the actual?
Yeah, the Academy Awards is the Oscar. Yeah,
Thank you.
it's
Why
the
don't y'all speak
Oscars.
up?
It's the other,
Gracious.
the Academy.
But the Academy Awards also does other things. But the Oscars in the Academy, it's a different thing. That's the elite.
What they were doing the other day was the
other
Oscars
one that
and
they
the
do other
Academy
ones too,
Awards.
but the Oscars is a whole. It's a ritual. It's no different than a fraternity, and you're about to get whatever the fraternity guys do. I don't know. I'm not in a fraternity, but you know what I'm
Haze each
talking
other.
about. They do certain
Haze.
things and they move up in their things. They do little weird rituals and little things we don't really care about. Hey, you might get a cake smashed in your face on national TV. You look at that like, oh, haha, that was just no. It was you're watching a ritual.
I don't know, but getting slapped in the
splitting
face,
of the cake.
I don't need to be
Look
that
up the
elite.
history of
Then
the Oscars
I'm
and know what the
sorry.
splitting of the cake means. It means the splitting of the baby. But you're only gonna
They
notice
done
if y'all
done
look it up.
degrading
But
stuff
anyway,
before.
you
That's
know,
why
I
Dave
digress.
Chappelle wasn't with the shit.
What'd you do? Q.
Oh, okay. Just making sure.
He was trying to look at
It's-
himself.
there is ways that Hollywood demean and degrade black men on purpose, and one of the reasons why Dave Chappelle was not for it. He didn't
I'm
want
not
to.
for it.
Like
He didn't
when he
put the
was telling
dress
his
on.
jokes, when he was telling jokes, he saw how they were like laughing about his jokes, like they were laughing at him when he was talking about black people. He didn't feel right for it. So they do a way about degrading black men. Let's be real.
He didn't put the dress on. Remember?
For me
What-
too,
what
like
dress
after
for him?
Ricky Gervais, the last one or whatever, I was disgusted by the Oscars. I was really bothered. That whole thing that he did was, to me, was just an insult to the, and it turned me off. And now this, and yeah, it's. I think that it was unfair because it was Will's moment, and to turn it into a big debate and to divide people because of it, and it was his time. But
can I just pose this real
it's
quick, because I don't
unfortunate
think
because,
anybody talked about this.
he
I
was
don't think anybody
speaking
talked
on.
about this.
Go ahead.
Regina Hall, in one of her bits, brought men up there and touched all over them. Would a male got away with that
Hell no.
in this day and age? I was like, I cringed.
That's Terry
at that,
Crews.
honestly. But I'm just saying, I cringed at that.
Wait, what
no
happened?
one's talking about it. So Regina Hall, and I love Regina Hall. I thought it was cute,
Yeah,
but I thought about it. I looked at it again. I was like, yo, she brought up several actors and said she wanted them to meet them out back or in the back of the stage. And she begins to start feeling on a few of them. And I was like, wow. Imagine if a
Didn't she say Will
that
come over
same thing. Yeah, she said something about Will, but she
Will?
let him sit down because she said you're married or something like that or whatever.
Yeah, okay.
But
yeah,
I
no,
was just cringing because Me Too era, we supposed to be this woman that don't want to be touched unwanted. What kind of message is that sending when you have people do that? So I thought that Will stuff overshadowed that, but I believe if that did not happen, people would have been talking about Regina Hall thing.
How did Haley Berry get her Oscar?
You getting off subject, sir?
No,
you getting off subject.
No, I'm not.
Well, okay. Tell me how this is relatable.
What did she get her Oscar for?
He's saying demeaning.
Monsters Ball.
Black people have the demeaning. They're saying black people are gonna have to be demeaned to get awards.
How did Haley Berry get her award? She
put on a hell of a performance.
She put on a hell of a
herself
out.
You remember they kicked everybody out so they could have a real sex scene? She got an Oscar for that. That was her initiation into it. Do y'all remember that?
I remember the sex scene.
I remember the Oscar.
Look at the
Oscar.
What was it? Whatchamacallit said he made a comment about the rapper, talking about how Denzel had to play a crooked man to get it, and Halle Berry had to be sexualized
Chris Rock said that, right?
in a way.
So okay? So let me ask you: all believe that in order for him to get the award, he had to slap Chris Rock to receive the award? Because from what I understand, King Henry wasn't a degrading movie like some people will say Monsters Ball is. So since the movie itself wasn't a bad movie, he had to do a bad deed, which was smack Chris Rock. Is that what y'all saying happened?
Yes.
I'm not saying that.
Let me go around. Who else believe that?
Y'all need to call some of y'all frat brothers and ask them about the shit they do, like at war, like their little things.
I put it like this. I don't know what the level of what he had to do to get the Oscar, but I do say this. A lot of Black people have been demeaned in Hollywood and and a lot of actors do go through a hazing ritual to get roles. A lot of women had to be hazed to get roles. I mean, the Harvey Weinstein is a big hazing situation where he had to basically touch your private parts in order for you to get a role.
And you be a movie star.
But hold on, Tierra. Isn't that proof? That's also proof that it ain't just Black people who have to go through things in order to get a role.
But I'm saying in what manner? So what we're saying is Black men are having to be demeaned to being gay or have to be
emasculated.
Put on a emasculated. Thank you. Smack is what he's trying to say. And I kind of feel him on that.
Where's the conspiracy though? Are we saying that they made Jada start demeaning him in order for him to win the award? Are we saying he had to smack Chris Rock? What's the point? What is the initiation that he had to go through?
Here it is. We don't know which one of those things it is, but that's the type of things they do. They do. Like I said, you might just get a cake smashed in your face. You might have to go kiss the man, some other dude in his mouth while you get your award. Like, thank you so much, and that's your like little what do you call it? Their little mission they might give you that you do. Everybody's is different, but when you look at Black people in Hollywood, mostly it's Black men in dresses, and they get to the next level of going to the next level of being in that fraternity they're trying to be a part of, the Academy Awards. They have their fraternity. It's like a fraternity. They have different things going on. So now you got women, they got to take it to the next level. This dude now, Chris Rock and him had to put a dress on maybe just to get on the entry level. As you saw Dave Chappelle, he did all that, built his shit up all the way, and then they came with a dress and they're like, yeah, put this dress on. They don't just come right out and say, hey, you're going to have to do this. They suggested, like how Dave Chappelle talked about. That's why he left Hollywood all of a sudden. Because they want him to be in those rituals and he wasn't with it.
You could very well be right. I think where I'm at right now.
He said it ain't about me being right. Even Dave Chappelle said it.
But that ain't.
He said Hollywood's kind of sick.
But you don't know what I'm about to say, though. I said you could very well be right. But what my issue is, I prefer not to go down that road because it takes away from the focus of Will Smith doing some foul type stuff.
But
for me, I prefer the focus be on people making bad decisions and bad behavior.
That's like taking away that there's white supremacy groups in the police force.
You can say that, but out of all this talking, everybody want to say everything, but don't nobody want to talk about how wrong Will Smith was. And for me, that's why
everybody said
he's wrong.
If it's real,
he's wrong. No, everybody. Nikki, everybody's not saying he's wrong.
Everybody in this panel, everybody in this conversation has agreed that what he did was wrong.
I said both sides I felt were wrong, but I would have responded, me personally again.
Right.
I would have responded with that slap.
Right.
That's just me.
And for every action, there's an equal reaction. Right. You know what I'm saying? So
I got to deal with consequences if they come.
And some people will sign up for the shit. You know, my response was fucked around, found out. Like some people do respond like that. That doesn't make it right, but some people respond by hitting and punching.
I think it's like you said, Jared, I think if Will Smith would have hit him and Chris Rock would have returned with an overright cross and caught him off guard, everybody would have still said, Chris Rock wrong for that.
No, I don't think that. I don't think they would have said that either.
I don't think he's in a winning situation. He was a victim. He's the victim here. He's the actual victim. But it's a Black man, so who cares?
I will say this.
Right? Hey,
go ahead. Jump in.
He can take it.
My takeaway, like I have a 6-year-old son, right? And like I was saying earlier, his friends come over and they just roughhouse, right? They roughhouse, they start fighting. Eventually someone calls someone a name. There's punches and there's slaps and there's this and that. I will say that this situation did cause a conversation between my husband, my son, and I. And it did cause pause for me to say, wait, should I allow my son, to roughhouse like that? What example am I allowing him saying, you know what? Because the kids come and there's a fight and we'll pull them apart. They'll start fighting again. And you know, it's like people say, oh, they're boys, you know, that's how they play. They slap and punch. And even he's fought with even little girls. I would roughhouse with my sister and we'd throw it down, right? But this did cause a pause in my house and with my family, where I said, you know what, maybe I need to look into the psychology behind that and maybe not allow that under my roof. So I'm not giving my son a bad example. Now, I'm not saying my son is not Will Smith, but it did cause me to think, you know what, it's not appropriate to respond with physical violence. And you know, it doesn't matter how I was raised or my views. I like receiving y'all's objective and y'all's opinion and y'all's thoughts on this, that I can take away and say, I need to fine tune some things, or really do, you know.
And that's what
really
I was saying.
You talking about kids roughhousing?
I am.
Yeah. I would say in general how we raise little boys anyway.
Period. Right.
Let's think about this. Nah. We taught boys to be tough and not cry and to have this masculine persona. Let's be real. Male egos have pretty much got us in every war we got into.
Sure.
Yep.
Wait, male egos or financial?
Both.
Wars are financial.
It's women. Women got us into that. Women got us into that.
No phenomenon like, oh, Will Snap. Oh my God.
Right.
Have we not looked at history?
But you understand it's women though.
Right.
Let's talk about the men.
You can look at history. I can look at nature. Do you know why the two gorillas fight each other? For the right to mate.
Right.
You go gorillas, walruses, sea otters, whatever you want to do. They fight for the right to mate. We fight over y'all.
Right.
So,
for me,
like I'm saying, are we too?
Ask all them niggas in prison right now.
Hold on a second.
What they in there for?
Tiara, hold on, go in. Tiara, your microphone just always starts off muted, like it goes up and down.
It's like in and out.
It's like we're not trying to cut over you. Sometimes it's hard to tell when you're done or not because your mic just keep going up and down. Go ahead. It's been doing it all day, but I'm just saying, go ahead. You all right.
Okay, well, I didn't know. I apologize. I hope y'all can hear me.
I'm just saying we apologize for cutting over you. That's all. Go ahead.
No, that's good. But that's what I'm saying. Are we teaching boys at an early age what it means to be a protector? What that means? I think we've gone about it wrong. I think this was okay manners to be able to duel for your woman. You know?
Right.
You know, that was the whole idea, is we'd be this.
He wasn't trying to take his woman.
Figure. But that's what I'm saying. I think we got on the wrong foot. And I also think we teach our kids wrong. We teach kids that words don't hurt.
And they do.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true. I agree with that.
Most all arguments that end in physical violence start with words.
Right. Something that somebody said.
Something somebody said, or even aside, and then it's like I'm so angry, I have to respond with a physical attack. And that's whether that's lack of, or impulse control, or just going triggering response. I know I'm Mexican. I was raised in a Mexican household, and sometimes my sister and I would fight, and my dad was like, whoever wins, like, turn off the light, and then after we would fight, we would sometimes just look at each other. I mean, we would, like, for real. I'm not saying it's okay, and I'm not saying it's good, but that's how I was raised. And then after it, we were like, you want to go get ice cream? And we're like, yeah, let's get ice cream. And then it was resolved for the day. And it's just retrospectively, I'm looking at it as maybe that wasn't right. That's what my parents knew, and what they thought. But now I'm looking at it like, well, it's in another circumstance, I would have been put in jail. But my sister didn't press charges, and she didn't press charges against me, or I didn't press. But yeah, I think that it was unfortunate that it was on Will Smith's Oscar, but I think that the takeaway for me is very valuable. Fortunately and unfortunately.
So before I answer that, so Johnny said, so now y'all gonna blame women. Yes, I'm blaming women. You are the root cause for everything, in a good way. In a good way. But you are the primary. I know, but I'm saying women in general are the primary influence for why men behave the way that they do. Plain and simple. Primary. Now, what I would say to you, why do you keep Sherry? Yeah, Nikki keep taking your name down, and I
No,
don't know
it's
you
because
well
when you
enough
put
to
up a
remember.
post, when you put a comment up, it hides the names.
Okay, I'm sorry. I'm like, well, it's up right now. Anyway,
was.
I'm sorry, Nikki. I apologize. What I would say is, I think as a man, I think there is a place for boys to roughhouse, to wrestle, to be physical, be aggressive. My thing that I teach children and things, because what I don't like personally is attacking someone out of emotion or anger. And that's the difference. I can watch MMA, I can watch boxing, I can watch physical combat all day. I cannot get on YouTube and watch hatred, violence, somebody going to. I can't stomach that. And I think that's the difference. So I think if you get that element out, you don't hit anybody when you're mad.
Sure.
You don't try to fight your brother when you're upset. No, that's not it. So I think that's where you differentiate. Go ahead.
And I appreciate your views and thoughts on it, because I completely agree, and I thank you for that insight. Because I appreciate that. That's true.
We got like 5 minutes left, so we ain't gonna hold up too long. Jared, I hadn't heard you for a second. You got any other thoughts, sir? Uh-oh, you froze up. I did something too.
Well, I want to pose my theory.
Go ahead.
Because again, I've spoken to the emotional side. I understand. I'm not justifying. I don't agree. I don't think that anger is an appropriate response. I think that we do have a lot of shit we have to kind of undo in our adulthood and our childhood, just because we were taught something or raised some way. We're learning as 40-year-olds that wasn't probably fucking the right way, but our parents just did what they did because that's what they did, right? So again, there's so many layers to this for me. It's not just was it staged or was it not, right? Because in the grand scheme of things, the human aspect to us is feeling the fucking emotional side and the connections that we have with maybe having been cheated on, with maybe having been in an abusive relationship, with maybe having, just so many connections that we have personally with this. So then the other side to me feeling like this was staged, this looked staged to me. I listened to Black Tea Talk this morning, certainly put some things into perspective about the theatrics of the world of the Oscars, and really and truly we are looking at two phenomenal fucking actors and comedians, right? And just like with the Bill Cosby shit and a lot of other people, like, we only know what TV wants us to know. We don't know the real, we just know the Will Smith that we all grew up with, and we just know the Chris Rock from CB4. Like, we just know these people because that's what they played characters as, right? So when you get into maybe teetering on the theory that this was staged, I was thinking to myself, there's a million different reasons why I think it could have been staged, right? But the one thing that for some reason popped to my head was, think about what happened with Dave Chappelle, right? And all the shit that took place after the closer, and all of the flack that he got from people about, making fun of transgender people, right? Could this, because last night on Standing Room Only, it was all comedians with the exception of me. And the consensus amongst 8 comedians was the fear that people are now going to be coming on stage, which sometimes obviously they already do, but people are now going to be coming on stage and slapping the shit out of comedians when they say something offensive because they've been emboldened by this move that Will Smith made. So could this possibly be the universe, the handlers of television saying, you better fucking be careful what you say on stage, Black comedians. You better not say certain things, Black comedians, anymore, because now this could potentially happen to you. Is this their way of shutting comedy down? Is this their way of telling Black comedians not to be so offensive, to not poke at certain, classes of people, because this could potentially happen? Was this created to try to scare Black comedians or comedians in general, but we'll go with Black comedians because this was 2 Black men at the only Oscars that's ever been written by a fucking Black cast of people. Like, you got to get into the interworkings of shit like this sometimes. Could this be that? Could this be them saying, shut the fuck up, sit down? Could this be them saying, you can't say this, and drawing the line, and this is too offensive, and could this be them scaring comedians into a fucking hole because I don't want to be jumped on stage, or I don't want to have some crazy person run up on me and there's no security? You know, I've been listening to comedians for the last 3 days talk about how a lot of these fucking comedy shows are in bars. There's no security. There's no protection. There's nothing. If you don't bring your own security, you're at your own devices.
Sure.
So if it is staged, could this be that? I mean, it could be a lot of different things, but could this be telling comedians you can't say certain things without telling them you can't say certain things by scaring them?
This is the byproduct of cancel culture gone wrong.
That too.
And let me tell you why I say that, and then I'll let you jump in. Cancel culture, what it has done, it has given people the liberty to jump into circles that they're never a part of, had no interest in. They only want to be outraged by it, and they jump in those circles and they show outrage. Once upon a time back in the day, if you didn't like Chris Rock, you didn't go to his shows. You didn't buy his CDs or DVDs or videos. He didn't matter to you because you wasn't gravitated in that direction. Now with cancel culture, everybody seeks and searches, where can I be offended? What can I find that will offend me so I can give my outrage? And it becomes a high when people go back and forth with you. So all of this comes where you went too far, you shouldn't have said this. And the reason why everybody got an opinion on it, social media, now you got 100,000 clips every single day of comedy, people doing backflips and just all ranges of stuff. So you have opinions about things that you never were really even interested in the first place.
Sure.
And it's backfiring on everybody, because now for the people who like that type of thing, it's the people who never liked it in the first place telling you we got to shut it down. That's our fault. Those are the rights that we keep taking away from ourselves. Tier, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Let me say just 2 quick points. One, there was a comedian, a black comedian, I can't think of his name, from Atlanta, that somebody did come on the stage and he ended up knocking the man out.
Put him on the ground.
He did knock him out, though. I mean,
telling
he
you
was
a
playing
gangster.
the
That happened to Mike Epps too.
Damn, no shit.
A lot of comedians ain't taking that. Like, and then secondly, I would say, I want to ask you guys, do you think the Oscars, Academy Awards, whatever you want to say, should take Will's Oscar back?
No.
He won the Oscar before. Yeah, he won the Oscar.
He earned that. Yeah,
I'm just saying, because cancel culture is this is what they're
right.
saying. I agree and say I don't think they should take it back, but I just want to get people's idea.
They're trying to make an issue out of a non-issue.
I don't agree with taking the Heisman Trophy back from people who already graduated 10 years ago.
Right.
What they did on the field is what they did on the field. If they got paid on the side, that ain't got nothing to do with what they did on the field.
Right.
And plus, he did what he was supposed to do. He slapped him. He earned it.
So, are we taking? So, like, should the Grammys take things back from R. Kelly, or you know what I'm saying? Like, how far?
No.
You know what I'm saying?
He earned the music.
I'm just asking.
I mean, I ain't saying like that.
Right.
Because a lot of people can't separate the art from whatever thing is going on, and a lot of people are saying on social media.
To go down the list on what you just said, that is not something that you want to do. Do you know how bad you got to retroactively start going back through? Everybody gonna be giving stuff back. They're gonna be.
No, I agree with you. I agree. I just want to get everybody's take on
that. Is a slippery slope that people do not want to go down. All right, we just about out of time. Stokely, what you got on your mind, sir? Any last words?
Last words for me is, like I said, just me.
Again, I would
slap shit out of him. But that's that's just me. 1955, Emmett Till was murdered. Today, they just signed the bill, the Anti-Lynching Act law bill today. So just wanted to put that on your mind. It's been a long, long time. I talked with an older person this afternoon, 89 years old. That's exactly what she said.
Wow.
It's been a long time coming. So just something to think about. That's it. Okay. Great conversation tonight.
Jared, go ahead. No, finish up. You got it.
No, great conversation tonight. I'm ready to let the slap thing go and move around.
Get into some yoga, some breathing exercise. I need to send you some fucking oils, goddammit, Stokely. Get you some pretzels and rocks.
Go ahead, Jared.
You mute, JB.
I don't even know if you muted. I just can't hear you. Go ahead. Try again. No, I don't think you muted, but we can't hear you.
He's getting sign language.
Sign
Okay,
language.
Coda.
I can't hear you.
No, we can't hear you at all. Turn your something.
He threw up that Southside Crip sign. I'm offended.
Smack gonna cancel Freethinkers now. He gonna cancel Freethinkers because Jared threw up a gang sign. All right. If just try. If you can't come back in, we'll catch you on the back end. Sherry, what's your last words?
I just want to say thank you guys for having me, and thank you guys for your community, and I appreciate all your insight and thoughts, and I just hope that whoever the powers at bay or whoever, that they just look into some better protocols and better policies, and to to not, the focus is to win from a beautiful product and not to deflect and embarrass and cause a divide in the community. So but yeah, thank you guys. I really appreciate being here. I love you guys.
Thank you so
And
much.
you
And we
got go
appreciate
ahead,
you.
plug what you got going on.
No, I don't. Right now I don't have anything going on, but if y'all want to follow me on Instagram, I do funny little videos and stuff. It's Cereza, CEZERA _0613. I have shows and stuff that y'all, I'd love for y'all to come see me do. So hopefully I don't get slapped in the face, but hey, I know how to talk.
Say that Instagram name one more time.
CEZERA _0613 is my Instagram.
And you can drop it on the
What
Freethinkers page
area
too.
are you in? What area are you
Houston,
in?
Houston, Texas.
Area? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, we got some people on Freethinkers in the Houston area. So cool.
Yeah, thanks for coming to the show tonight.
Yeah, thank you. And yeah, you came into a spicy one, so we
I
appreciate
y'all.
Had the stomach to deal with us.
Thank you.
Jared, let me try you one more time. Say, you working?
Can you hear me?
Oh, yep, we got you.
There we go, man. Hey, so I was saying, take it back. I say you take it back, take the Oscar back, and then you give him 2 for that great performance he put on at the end with the crying.
Oh,
he had me moved.
I ain't talking about that.
Okay.
Apology. I get to that another time.
Hey, I had a great time tonight. Thank y'all.
Thanks for coming to the show.
Thanks for coming on. Yeah, I ain't talking about that weak apology. That was worse than the actual what happened.
I thought it was good.
That he apologized to everybody, every old rich white person in the world, and they say anyway. That's the difference. I ain't gonna even go back into that.
Sorry. I mean, it's believing it was intentional. He wasn't sorry for punching him, so I wouldn't have said sorry neither. So I understood that. But
and then that on the side, okay, that's even part of it. If you ain't sorry, then don't say sorry. Cool.
Well, he was apologizing to
anybody. And then you can't say all that stuff
on,
about God calling you and all that if you're not gonna do that part. Like, dude.
But then let me tell you the other part. Well, I didn't like you over here trying to get a dead man to co-sign on why you did what you did. You keep throwing in Henry name, Serena and Venus daddy. Me doing no. Stand on your own too. I decided to slap him, so that's what I did. Don't sit there and say, well, I've been watching him taught me how to protect. No, you trying to deflect. You still trying to put blame on other people. Stand in what you did. That's another conversation. I ain't gonna go on that. Smack, what was you saying, Smack?
I don't even remember.
Okay, I'm gonna come. If just put your hand up if you think of one last thing. Tierra, you got any last words? Thank you. It was good seeing you again, Tierra.
I appreciate y'all. What did the 5 fingers say to the face?
Bam!
Go to jail.
Stokely no. Stokely with that life.
I didn't think I was really about that life, but then I'm thinking like, well, maybe I am. And I'm no gangster. I'm no, thug. But I will fight now. Don't let this gray beard fool your ass.
All right, Nikki, you got anything
got great ratings because of this. So
yes,
I don't think it was no losers.
Oh, Chris Rock lost.
If you Nah, he got good money coming from that.
He already had
got a
good money.
story.
No.
No.
He about to
Get
sell
this.
out everywhere. He about to make more
He
money
had
than he's
a
ever made.
story
He was already
to tell.
very rich.
His tickets were $34. Before
Rock is about
Sunday,
to go on a
his tickets
world
were
tour.
$34 for his tour. His tickets are now $340.
Listen,
Man,
And
he
he's
got
going
a
on a
good
world
story.
tour.
if I'm worth 100 million
Not
and then somebody
nationwide.
say I give you 200 million if we could strip away your manhood, I'm all right with 100 million. I don't need more money
That's
when I
you.
already got money.
You
Just
don't
for my
need. Oh,
manhood.
come on.
You right.
No. And if that's the case, he would have sold out on a much stronger level already by now.
He haven't?
No,
But if
I
he's
don't think so.
inducted
I don't
because
think
of the
so at all.
ritual, they're going to allow it to happen for him.
Right.
That's part of it.
Man, I'm with Q on that one. I don't know if I
Losers.
can.
To me, no losers on that stage that night. I think everybody won.
Yeah,
Will,
I agree.
Chris, and the Oscars. We are still talking about it. It is still trending on Twitter.
Disagree.
Everybody has gained something from that. So,
Okay, we respect everybody. Respectfully respect everybody's opinion, even if we don't see it exactly the same way. Nikki, you got any final words and we can close out?
I do. I'm gonna go with this.
And hold on a side note, because I see what Jules said, male ego, he lost his face. It's not one. Keep in mind, you want a male that has, you don't need a male with a big ego, but you want a man that has a certain level of ego. A man with no ego is not a man that you want. So anytime people keep talking about men with their egos, you want a man who has at least a small
That's
ego.
what it takes to go in the world.
You gotta have some ego. Don't. Ego is not a bad word. The imbalance of having too much ego can be bad for you. But no,
I remember the last thing.
That's just a side note.
I remember the last thing I want to say now.
Go ahead.
It was a great conversation night. I had fun with y'all as I always do when I come over here. I think it's always great conversations going on. I just want to leave you with, if the Oscars was broadcast on Comedy Central, would you believe it then?
That it was real or that it was staged?
Mm-hmm.
We knew it was staged.
I would much more believe it was staged if it was Comedy Central. More so.
So then what's the difference? What's the difference?
I said about branding.
Just because it's on the brand?
Like I said about branding.
No,
If Justin Timberlake would have pulled off that nipple on the MTV Awards instead of the Super Bowl, would it have been as big a deal?
No, but think about what you're actually saying. So now that because it's on this brand now, that's staged. Well, why? They can't really, these comics can't really get in a fight now?
No, the venue makes a difference. The venue of when and where you do things makes a difference.
But I'm saying,
Absolutely,
you said that's what would make you believe it more if it was there. But the reason it's real because it's not there, it's here.
Maybe
branding, marketing.
Maybe
that's all it took.
I don't see the Oscars brand trying to turn into the real Housewives of Atlanta.
Jewel, man. That's a jewel. That's the same reason this same shirt, $3. They put the little polo thing on it, $62.
But that's the same reason why you wouldn't make a dummy. Hold on, that's the same reason you wouldn't make a dummy album with one song that says swoop swoopy doop swoopy doop doop doop, because your brand has a bigger expectation than you doing some trick CD.
So I would just put it on another brand. If it could sell, I'll just put it on another brand.
Yes, you might, but you're not gonna put that on your brand. And I don't think the Academy Award wanted that to be on their brand. And I don't think
I had to remarket what I'm doing because we got to change up something new. I might. If my records weren't selling,
if you've been doing something a certain way for 100 years,
I might do the swoopy whoop on my brand. If it's gonna
show me when you do it. I ain't seen it yet, Smack. So show me when you do it.
No, I'm just saying my shit's still selling, so I ain't hurting like that. But I'm just saying if it was.
No, that's you can say that if you want to. One thing,
that's true. People do it all the time.
Smack.
It's the same reason Usher
people
don't do
it all the time.
No more.
But I know for a fact that you have standards with the way you present your brand.
Yes,
and you can't even tell me different than that.
No doubt. But if I was going for 10 years and my shit wasn't working and I came to a table with people, they said, dude, we're going to have to try something different. I don't know. Go shwoo, shwoo, shwoo on the record. See if that works.
It can be down. Just
and
like
then if I did
and
it worked, and it's like, if I got people that are going to, if you actually do it, it's proven by 49% that most people will do it. They got all these, man, that whole marketing team they got, fam, is a whole different
I mean,
They're breaking
it's
out all kind of shit.
It is
so if they
possible.
put some drama on the Oscars, 2 black men, first black
Okay, we
directed
can't go back
Oscars
into the
in
conversation,
Compton,
but
California. You can't
let's-
get no blacker than that. See what these niggas done did when we let them do this shit? They put a stain on it. No black man in Hollywood makes it out of Hollywood without a fucking stain on it.
Maybe not, but I still
Tupac didn't have a record till he made a record.
Hey, Denzel's still my guy. He been staying pretty steady. So
No black
I'll
man
rock
makes
with
it
Denzel.
out of Hollywood without a smudge on his name. It's coming.
Denzel ain't
We
got
can
much
say
of
all
a
that,
smudge.
but it's coming, and it might come in his
That's the
death.
Teflon.
The worst.
Denzel is Teflon.
Because in his death, guess what? The media and the Academy Awards, all them, the Oscars, they control all that information. So if they put it out there, even if it's a lie, like they did Bill Cosby, look how they rolled it until everybody said, "Oh." It took it going to a Supreme Court for them to say, "No, why'd y'all lock him up? It says right." No, fam, y'all tripping. It took that. Stain, Kobe Bryant, as soon as he died.
All right, we don't need the whole history. You could be right.
No, I'm just saying it. So far, that's what's been going on.
I will take the
see what they're
blame.
doing with Martin Luther King and Malcolm X now. They're trying to make them seem like they were some fun boys.
Yeah, I got you. We hold on. And this, I take responsibility because I keep sparking up conversation when we're supposed to be closing out. So let's close. That's me. I'm the one.
I know. We ready to go, man.
I know. Oh, Nikki, you reminded me earlier when I was talking about Facebook. You remind me of them prison movies. Say what you in here for? Oh,
Nikki's the gangster of the group.
Man, I ain't do nothing. They got me on some bull. I ain't even do nothing.
And Nikki back in, man.
Like, yeah, that's
she the gangster of the group.
We just saw you in here 2 months ago. Yeah, but they put me back in on some.
Once that you violated you once, they're easier to violate you now.
It is Tiara. I literally looked through all of my violations today, and I was like, "Damn, this is it's a lot."
How long is your list, Nikki?
Oh, I
is it longer than mine?
I mean, it's a bit. It's a little bit. It's a little bit. It's funny too because this particular comment that I made, I sent to a few people, and they're like, "Yeah, that was definitely that was one." I was like, I didn't even think about it.
Well, like I said, the last one I did, I quoted John Quincy Adams, and they locked your boy up for 64 days.
Damn.
No.
Yeah, 64 days.
Have you guys ever tried to fight those?
I did. So first I got 30, and then I got 30 immediately, and then it said I'm going to be banned from groups for 28 days, and then I'm going to be banned from Facebook for 6. So I'm hoping that next week I'll be able to jump back on, but I guess I'm banned from groups.
How did it feel to have an algorithm decide your fate?
Ain't that something? See how they do that?
So sick of this
I went to try to argue.
Not even a person.
I went to try to argue mine. They can stop. Sit
The
your ass
computer
down
was
for
like,
64
They
days.
won't even let you. They're saying, "Oh, because of COVID, we have so much shit we're backlogged. Like we don't have a team to review these anymore. You're at our mercy." Yeah, that shit pisses me off. And again,
y'all need to watch Big Bug on Netflix.
Taking responsibility, I probably should have said what I said, but I fucking said what I said, and I meant it, and I stand by what I say every time I say it.
Don't say that. Parole violation.
On a quick side note, before we close out,
follow us on YouTube. Follow us on
YouTube. I want to apologize to our high IQ people. I had to share this to high IQ in order to share it to the rest of the pages, and high IQ is more PG-ish, so we apologize for
rebranding.
No, this is not the brand that we want for high IQ. I love Freethinkers where it's at. I like high IQ where it's at as well. They both have their place. They both have their audience.
Well, maybe we got us some new fans because of that. Welcome to the page, y'all.
Maybe
I might have lost a few too.
You might have lost a few.
I might have won some. Yeah, you might have lost.
I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna let y'all go. I got an early tea time in the morning, so go out here and play this golf tomorrow.
If y'all just let me finish, I could have
go ahead and close it out, man.
Don't be trying to leave before I.
You're rambling, man.
You dragging, you dragging.
Smack.
Go ahead.
Now, go back. Y'all have a good night.
Thank you.
Good night, Joe.
Y'all be good.
Bye, guys.